Copycat dude, sorry about your migraine. Welcome to Normal America Show with your host Rob Noerr of the Normal America Show with his Normal America hat and his Normal America Show. Branding, baby. Ha! So after the show today, I got a hard out at 2:30. Go pick up my son, and then hopefully I have a meeting with um, the guy that'll be setting up my website with the merch and all of that stuff. You spilled coffee on your Normal America Show. Luckily, it's a high quality product, and that'll come right out. And if not, the coffee stain will just add character. Make up a crazy story. I spilled coffee as a Somalian immigrant was screaming death to America, and I was trying to protect a child. There you go. What a great story for your shirt. You see, lemons into lemonade. My goodness, what a day. I didn't sleep super well last night. Yeah, there you go. Gigi got it. Just use a ShamWow. We could have used a ShamWow. At DebateCon, Gigi, we were at the table when, who was it? EOD's coffee got spilled. And we foolishly got a bunch of napkins. I was waiting for Vince the ShamWow guy to just pop up. Be like, hey, coffee stain there? You don't take that out? So great, you'll be saying wow every time. And then, like, punches it. And yeah, we love it. Love it! Oh, man. We got a show for you today. Is it a good show? No, I don't know. Yeah, sure. It's a good show today. Tomorrow's show will suck. Yesterday's show was dog shit. But today is the good show. I steal that bit from Conan O'Brien. He used to do that in his on his show way back when. Back in like the late 90s. He'd always be like, today's the show. Tomorrow's show will suck. Yesterday's show was garbage. But today, this is the show. Did I freshen up in all the stories that are going on? John, behave. Of course, after the call-in show yesterday, I went and did a little drama on Cool Vic show. By the way, props to Cool Vic. What a fucking Chad. Great guy. You guys should check out his channel. Why am I saying to check it out instead of just linking the channel? Let's do that. Here it is. So I hopped on over there yesterday, and he was talking to Andrew Wilson, and apparently there was some sort of drama about payments for Sarah for DebateCon. I don't know anything about that. Fucking no comment. But I was called a bitch by Dusty, so I figured I would go on there. Of course, Dusty didn't do so hot when he didn't have the ability to just send me to the back. Womp womp. Turns out none of those people do well if there's a moderator that actually gives me a chance to speak. Yeah. Anyways, I got to talk to Sarah. It's fun. But enough of that shit. Here comes Mongo. We're done with that. Now we talking real shit. I don't know what to talk. No, it's all right. So I got a couple stories to talk about today. Of course, we'll be opening up the call-in lines, which is perfectly fine. If I got some blasts from the past, one of the things, I got to give a real shout out to my editor, Black Elk, who is just truly the man. He's so good. And so he's been doing a lot of blasts from the past videos, where he's taking live streams that I've done with big content creators in the past, and he's sort of clipping them up. And it's very good. So I figured, if nothing else today, if we run out of call-ins talking about issues, then we can watch one of those, and then I'll tell you how I think that's aged. Spoiler alert, very good for me. You know. But there are stories to talk about. My agenda for today, like I said, is to talk to the website guy. Stream tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. Probably jump on Speakeasy's channel. He usually does like open panel type things. Tonight, the topics are evil, religious, good versus evil. So maybe I could hop on there. I don't know. Also, a question I have. So this is a serious question I have for the audience. I debated a guy called Godless Engineer a couple weeks ago, and it was about Christian nationalism. Now, I don't think that I'm a good advocate for Christianity. I think I'm a good debater, but I am not so arrogant as to think that a neophyte like me, when it comes to religion or theology, is in any position to sort of, oh shit, what just happened? Hey, hello. I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but it appears as if my computer screen just shit the bed. What happened? Both of them? What the fuck? Sorry. Man, I don't know what happened. Everything just went blank and then it started auto updating my computer. I'm so sorry about that. What a pile of shit. It's been doing worse and worse lately, my computer, so I'm gonna have to just I was hoping to hold out until the end of the year, but I'm gonna have to get a new computer. So we'll do a buy Rob a computer stream here soon. No, it's not. It's kind of boomer issues, but I don't know. So if it crashes again, I'm just gonna be done fucking with it, and I'll do my stream through the phone. But hopefully we don't have that problem. Anyways, we're back, baby. Here we go. Here's the question I was gonna ask. I did this debate with Godless Engineer. I don't feel that I'm a good advocate theologically for Christianity. However, I think I'm a reasonable advocate for why Christian societies, never mind the denomination, are societies that we should prefer. Now, here's the question I have for the audience. I clearly have reservations about doing religious debates. However, I've started to get offers that people want me to debate Christianity versus secular humanism. Should I take those debates? Is that something you would like to see me do? Or do you think that that's beyond the scope of what I should be doing and I should be focused more just on politics? I'm willing to talk to the audience about it. I say this especially if you're a Christian, I'm interested in your opinion because I don't want to say anything. That's something that I deeply care about, is not blaspheming any Christianity. Have a discussion with Jay. Just stick to politics. Yeah, okay. That's what I'll do. That's where I'm leaning. Now, it's weird because I try to get debates. I try to get a lot of debates, and it is amazing how difficult it is to get debates on political issues. But boy, is it easy to get them on Christian issues. You know? Yeah, big balls. There he is. Are you the big balls? It's a Chad that stopped that woman from getting carjacked and then was jumped by some youths. Good work, big balls. So I don't know. We'll see what's up. Debate when I'm confident in. Half the fun's debating shit I'm not confident in and still wrecking people. I was sort of nervous about the Christian nationalism debate. I only took that because I did promise the guy that was hosting it I would do a debate for him before I knew it was all religious debates. Nonetheless, I thought it was fun to wreck that guy, right? You are named after him. Good job, man. So, yeah, we're doing good, C-Death. So, anyways, just thought I would throw that out there. Those are the offers I've been getting. A couple topics we could talk about tonight. Sorry, again, that the computer shit the bed. The aforementioned Hakeem Jeffries business. Now, Hakeem Jeffries' team was actually reaching out and soliciting donations from Jeffrey Epstein, well into everyone saying Jeffrey Epstein was the worst guy in the world, him being convicted, etc., etc. Here we go. Here's Jeffries yesterday.
House Oversight Chairman Comer said yesterday on the floor that you had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner and took money from him back in 2013. This was after he was on the sex offender list. Any comment on that? And will you be holding members accountable regardless of party affiliation if there were any misdeeds related to the Epstein files?
Was that a serious question or a serious statement?
Yes.
From malignant clown James Comer, that I had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner, that I accepted money from Jeffrey Epstein? What's extraordinary to me about the clown show on the other side of the aisle is that they lie with impunity on things that are objectively verifiable. And why do they do that? It's because for months, Republicans have been burying the Jeffrey Epstein files. Not Democrats. Our view continues to be the same. We want to make sure that what the survivors have asked for, which is full and complete transparency in order to bring about accountability, actually happens. And Congress decisively and in a bipartisan way acted yesterday with respect to the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. That's a victory for the survivors and a victory for the American people. And Donald Trump needs to sign that bill into law expeditiously.
Okay, Trump did sign that bill. So that's occurred. Now, here's the issue. Democrats did not give a shit. They did not care at all about Epstein for 4 years under Joe Biden. They didn't care about him for 8 years under Barack Obama. Did not give a shit. Now they're claiming to care. Okay, because they see this as perceived attack against Trump. Problem's going to be people like Hakeem Jeffries and what was the other names? Hackett or something Haskett, the woman who was actually getting questions from Epstein to smear Trump at a hearing, right? It's going to be difficult for them that just played all this, oh my gosh, Epstein, and now it's like, okay, now you're implicated in doing shady shit. And they're like, is this serious? Yes, it's serious. So here we have Comer responding. Now, bear with me, it's about a 5-minute response.
I've taken to the floor today to respond to Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calling me a, quote, stone cold liar during a press conference defending the recent discovery of Democrats' communication with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And I bring with me something that he and many of his fellow Democrats like Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, and Stacey Plaskett, apparently detest. And that is a thing called evidence. Tuesday, I gave a speech on the House floor detailing my House Oversight Committee's good work to date on our Epstein investigation. After all, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats in Congress, and your allies in the corporate media have been demanding a full release of the Epstein documents for months, including all the documents from the Epstein estate. So without hesitation, I subpoenaed all of the Jeffrey Epstein estate documents because I, as well as my Republican colleagues on the House Oversight Committee, we want to know what really happened, what went on, who was involved in these unspeakable crimes. We want justice for the survivors. That's why we're doing this investigation. So House Oversight obtained over 30,000 pages of documents from the estate. Unlike the Democrats, who only released 10 of those over 30,000 pages of documents, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee released every single document on the website for the American people to see. Democrats and many in the media were anxiously clutching their pearls in anticipation of potential dirt on President Trump. In the end, after full transparency by the Republicans on the Oversight Committee, there was nothing new about the president's former relationship with Epstein, and certainly nothing scandalous. But we did find two sitting Democrat members of Congress had communication with Epstein. First, it's been highly reported and debated about Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett texting during an Oversight Committee hearing with Jeffrey Epstein while trying to conspire with him to hurt or embarrass Donald Trump. But according to Jamie Raskin, that was okay because Mr. Epstein was her constituent. How embarrassing a rationale is that? But the second communication was this email right here, where Hakeem Jeffries' campaign reached out directly to Jeffrey Epstein, soliciting campaign dollars for the, quote, Brooklyn Barack. Now, whereas Jamie Raskin explained Plaskett's communication with Epstein is simply responding to a constituent, Hakeem Jeffries had a very different response when asked about it by the media. He denied its existence. Hakeem Jeffries said, Comer is a stone cold liar. And then he reverted to calling me names for the second week in a row. So let's read it to make sure. To Jeffrey Epstein, and that's the real Jeffrey Epstein, not Jasmine Crockett's Jeffrey Epstein. This is the real Jeffrey Epstein. From Hakeem Jeffries' campaign. Dear Jeffrey, we are thrilled that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars of the New York delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Hakeem is committed to electing a Democrat majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in a DCCC fundraising dinner with President Obama and Hakeem Jeffries. It ends with a number for Jeffrey Epstein to call to go to the dinner and, quote, get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Here's the evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries. So, Mr. Minority Leader, take a deep breath, chill out, stop lying, stop with the juvenile name calling, and own up to the fact that your campaign solicited campaign cash from Jeffrey Epstein.
Huh. Now, who do you believe? The actual evidence that we have from Hakeem Jeffries' campaign reaching out to Jeffrey Epstein, or Hakeem Jeffries saying, it's all lies, it's lies. Now, these are the people that will do anything to selectively go after Donald Trump. Now, let me steelman Hakeem Jeffries' position here. Yeah, I don't know. My campaign was just reaching out to any fucking wealthy person. I didn't really have say in exactly who they are reaching out in. No one was really looking at people's criminal history. We just said, here's a wealthy dude. Maybe you could help elect Democrats. We thought it was important to get elected. Had the members of my team highly scrutinized, exactly what Epstein was accused of, I would have said, yeah, it's a bad deal. Don't do that. But that's not the charitability they'll give Trump. And so, as always, they give a response worse than the actual question. Or the actual issue. Oh, it doesn't exist. You're a fucking liar. Why are you even asking? Is this a serious question? Here, let's go back real quick. Let's go back to Hakeem Jeffries. Let's see what he said. Now that you have the evidence.
House Oversight Chairman Comer said yesterday on the floor that you had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner and took money from him back in 2013.
He didn't say that. He said that you invited him.
On the sex offender list. Any comment on that? And will you be holding members accountable regardless of party affiliation if there were any misdeeds related to the Epstein files?
Was that a serious question or a serious statement from malignant clown James Comer that I had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner? That I accepted money from Jeffrey Epstein?
You solicited.
What's extraordinary to
offered
me
a dinner for him
about the clown show on the other side of the aisle is that they lie with impunity on things that are objectively verifiable.
Right.
And why do they do that? It's because for months, Republicans have been burying.
Now, notice that the question got a couple little details wrong so that Hakeem could be like, I didn't have him for dinner. No, your team solicited a donation from him and offered to have dinner with him and Barack Obama. And then he acts incredulous. Oh, is that serious? Yes, it's serious. You all are the people that claim that Donald Trump hanging out with Epstein in like 2003 or 2004, whenever it was, before these allegations were made public, somehow a big deal. You were soliciting donations and trying to set up a dinner with him and Barack Obama after a conviction. After that. Huh. By the way, you'll recall, during the 8 years of the Obama presidency, basically, Epstein was given a sweetheart plea deal, everything sealed under record, and was free to go about his business. Under Trump, he was arrested. Under Biden, nothing. Under Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell arrested. Starting to see the issue? Now, here's the truth. I talked about the Epstein stuff a lot yesterday. I don't know that there's a smoking gun there. But the truth is, there's going to be an awful lot of people on both sides of the aisle that are implicated. Here's the real truth that's not criminal, but that we should all say, and fuck Donald Trump and anyone connected to him if they've done this, and fuck the Republicans and fuck the Democrats. Here's the real truth. Politics don't care. You could be the biggest fucking scumbag in the world, and they'll still solicit donations from you. They don't give a fuck. They'll be your bud. All about the money, all about the power. For the Democrats to sit there and pretend like, oh, not us, is bullshit. And the media will let them get away with it too. Just like they always do. Anyways, forget about that. Well, Hakeem Jeffries is just a low-level guy. Really? The minority leader in the House of Representatives. A nobody. In 2013, soliciting donations and trying to set up a dinner with Jeffrey Epstein and Barack Obama. Stacey Plaskett literally going after Trump at a hearing, directly texting Jeffrey Epstein, getting questions. These people don't give a fuck about alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's another thing. Now you want me to piss everyone off? You want me to get real? Fucking. You ready? Some of the alleged victims of Epstein may be full of shit. There, I said it. There were certainly legitimate victims. I think that's beyond dispute. But because of that, if some woman was 23 and was like, yeah, I'll go fuck a bunch of wealthy people, and then had consensual sex with people for money, that's not the same as a 15-year-old that was drugged there. Can we be honest about that? Kind of an aside, but I figure I'll just piss everyone off. How can I say all about that and not say Benjamin's? Because I didn't want to piss off Ben Shapiro and the Jewish lobby. Here's the point, though. All of this grandstanding about it's about achieving justice for the victims. Where the fuck were all of you in 2008? Where was your party leaders in 2008 and 2009 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and so forth? Republicans or Democrats, where were you? You didn't give a shit about justice back then? Fuck you. Both sides are using this as a political football, and I'm just one of the only ones that'll be honest enough to admit it. That's the truth. That's what's going on. What Trump said back in, I ain't buying the 4D chess. People could come in and call in and sell it to me here in a moment. We'll open the call-in lines. I'm not buying the 4D chess. Oh, Trump strategically pissed on his own supporters, saying it was a Democratic hoax and he didn't want their support anymore because he knew that would dupe Democrats into pushing for the release. No. I gave my reasons yesterday. I don't think that's what's going on. And fuck him. I still think it's one of the worst political blunders I've ever seen. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to point out the Democrats are just as farcical, if not worse. They don't give a shit. They care so much about the victims of Epstein that they're fucking texting Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing and trying to get him to smear Trump. Get the fuck out of here. They're setting up dinners with them and soliciting donations. Fuck you. And then we get called out. Like, they had to know. Like, Plaskett and Jeffries and all the fucking Democrats had to know that when this shit got released. And here's the thing. They don't give a fuck. And here's maybe what the real story is here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I look at this differently. But you want to know what the real story is? And people are going to be like, wow, that's a fucking leap. The real story is that the Democrats pushed to have this released, knowing that when it eventually got released, it was going to implicate a lot of them in slimy shit with Epstein, like Jeffries, like Plaskett. But here's the deal. They don't give a shit, because as much as we say that the mainstream media is dead, it's not. It still sets the narrative. The mainstream media and the Democrats are so effective that Charlie Kirk could be assassinated, and within a week, the real victim is Jimmy Kimmel. There could be 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump, and by the end of the month, no one gives a fuck anymore. That's how effective they are. Now, they happen to have the dumbest fucking opposition in the Republicans that are incapable of setting a narrative. The Democrats aren't worried. There could literally be it could have been that, like, here we have that Epstein attended the fucking DNC behind the scenes and was doing tequila shots and brought a bunch of strippers that were hanging out with the entire Democrat caucus. They wouldn't give a fuck. They'd be like, man, so? because they know that their allies in the media will not give a shit because they're not journalists. They're not interested in holding truth to power. They're interested in bearing the truth for the powerful. And they hate Donald Trump. They're going to go along with the agenda. And so they'll spin it and fucking make the Democrats look good and make it going on offense about Donald Trump always. That's what they'll do. So they don't give a fuck. They could sit there and be like, I don't give a fuck. Release a document that says that the document could say that Barack Obama and Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump all had fucking cocktails with Jeffrey Epstein in 2022. They wouldn't give it. Without a hesitation, they'd be like, look how bad this makes Trump look. And you'd be like, but there was Biden and Barack Obama and Kamala Harris too. So we don't give a fuck. The media will skip right on by that. We know it. And it'll work. It'll work too. That's right. Who does really talk about Charlie Kirk anymore? Well, I'll show you one person. I'll show you one person that's not giving up in the fucking narrative. I'll show you one person that's unwilling to fucking allow them to constantly fucking shift the narrative and refuse to focus on the violence that they've endorsed in Charlie Kirk's death. And then we'll get to the calls. Maybe. If you'll indulge me, here's a person that's not willing to fall for their narrative switch.
After that, we have announcements. Go ahead, Bob. So Tom conceded in the opening statement that actually the left commits more acts of violence, which was the prompt. He just says that, well, actually, when it comes to murders, the studies say that it occurs more on the right. But obviously, the nature of this being in person, we actually, full disclosure, didn't even know what the topic was going to be until we came up here. So it's difficult to analyze these studies. However, what I'll say is this, as he's conceded that there are, we'll just say, hinky ways that they collect data in all of these other studies that he's talking about. And I still believe that these are still small numbers. What we see is the effectual violence that affects political change is actually that occurs on the left. We see that their protest, which oftentimes leads to violence, actually does affect political change and actually does stymie policies of the Trump administration. For example, the riots that occurred at Black Lives Matter did affect actual changes, and did the Ferguson riots that occurred before that in the forms of the way funding the police was going, the way the police interacted, etc. Unfortunately for black people in the inner cities, it made their lives worse, but that's okay. A bunch of lefties grifted off it and became millionaires. Hopefully they face accountability at some time for that. We see these actions actually are effective. And as he's conceded, that we actually see a prominent right-winger that was assassinated that probably set the right back decades in the form of Charlie Kirk. Someone you heinously blamed the murder on Donald Trump, and not the fucking disgusting lefties that actually took his life. But as is the want of the left, you can see the whole way through this, Tom makes excuses for the left, talks about how he himself would engage in an act of violence if he felt that these people were undercover officers because he thinks that maybe he wouldn't know, etc., etc. All, by the way, tough guy bullshit talk. He knows where these people are and he would be able to go. And it's terrible advice that's giving the rationale for people that are going to ruin their lives or possibly lead to someone dying by fighting with ICE. It's no fucking joke. Another instance that we didn't talk about was a left-winger that went on top of a building and shot at ICE agents because of rhetoric like Tom speaking, which actually led to the killing of 2 detainees that were there. The left engages in more acts of violence. Tom concedes that they engage in more acts of violence that affect political change. They're treated easier by law enforcement. They're treated easier by Democrats. They're put in prominent positions even when they engage in domestic terrorism like Bill Ayers. They don't have the largest FBI task force in history that go after them. And these studies are absolute bullshit that want you to deny reality, that we could see that the truth is that it's the left that engages in these acts of violence on a near weekly basis. And we have to pretend it and pretend that every time something happens on the right, that that's somehow this act of violence we need to shit our pants over. He concedes that right-wingers could go on college campuses and be chased off. He concedes that we've seen acts of violence like Black Lives Matter, that bail funds have been promoted by people like Kamala Harris. It's laughable that he says, well, that's just because she's against bail anyways, and yet she doesn't do it to any right-wingers like the January 6th people. It's laughable. It's clear what the signal that's being shown is. The fact that Tom wants to blame someone like Trump for saying he engaged in an insurrection, even if he said something that was truthful or not, that part of it's irrelevant, because the mere fact he inspired people to be angry proves that he somehow incited an insurrection. And yet he uses the very rhetoric that his Democratic leaders uses, which is that Donald Trump and by extension Charlie Kirk are fascists, and then Kirk is murdered and Trump faces an assassination attempt twice, shows how fucking dangerous this all is. The truth of the matter is, Tom has no bones about saying what he thinks is absolute truth in his objective opinion, that these people are fascist, even if that results in people trying to take their life. He even admitted at one point, if you listen carefully, he understands why people would try to take the life of fascists. He's okay with that. He'll continue to parrot that rhetoric. Yet at the same breath, he'll bitch about Donald Trump because he said, drag this person out at one time. Joe Biden actually made fun of Trump for having to be moved to a bunker, as did many other Democrats. Tom says, I don't give a shit. It was funny. Ha, ha, ha. Trump said that he didn't have to be moved and he was brave in the face of this, so therefore we should mock him for it. The truth is the left has always used violence and intimidation, and it's gotten worse since the advent of Donald Trump. The truth is we can see that it's effectual when we see these judges, when we see these activists, when we see academics, when we see the media, when we see all of these pundits that decide that they're going to immediately smear a great man like Charlie Kirk. Even the New York Times being forced 2 days after his murder to issue a retraction on their own fucking article because they say, we reported yesterday that he said some anti-Semitic things on his podcast. And while that's true, what we left out was that he was criticizing someone and quoting them. The truth is that he was a great fucking man, and I'm glad that we did this debate. I find it disgusting what the left's engaged with smearing him, and I think that you ought to be fucking ashamed. And God forbid this act of violence be instituted on people from the left that are pundits there as well. May we all rise up and say that we're not going to accept this political violence anymore from these lefties. Keep the memory of Charlie Kirk in our mind. Start going to church and pray, because these fucking lefties will laugh at you when you're murdered and then make fun of your fucking wife. Fuck them all. Not one step back.
I'm not going to fucking forget Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to forget what they did to him. And it's getting cliche at this point. I'm going to have to start doing a stream once a month, just focus specifically on Charlie Kirk, because I feel myself getting into this point where I'm becoming cliched at the end of my streams when I say, God bless Charlie Kirk, and don't forget, it's becoming a catchphrase, and that's fucking bullshit, because it's more than that. That's who these fucking people are. And the fact that they got away with changing that narrative, and so that we forget about it, and we forget about the assassination attempts at Donald Trump, fuck them. Thanks, Zora. I appreciate it. But that's what happens. The Democrats have no fear because they know, despite everything, despite the fact that more people are communicating on social media, they know that the communication on social media trickles down from the stories that our politicians and the people that shift our narratives are controlling. And let's be honest, even me, I'm usually talking about the shit that matriculates down from that. That's what's happening. So they don't give a fuck. They know this King Jeffrey stories won't be covered. Yeah, how much shit I forget? Yeah, how much shit I cover and I forget? Like, oh yeah, that was incredibly fucked up that the left did. It's just out of the narrative immediately. Meanwhile, the left, the Democrats, holy shit, you know everything about January 6th, all the talking points, don't you? You know about Charlottesville, you know all the talking points about that, don't you? The full debate of that, actually, yeah, that's on Grid Motorsports channel. So please check it out. He put on a tremendous event. Here's the link to that full debate. And while I'm at it, let's put the link out to the show. So we're accepting call-ins. I'll put the link out. I'll post it to the top, and then I'm going to read all the super chats, including, and in fact, starting with my fantastic audience over there on Rumble. Link is pinned. Let's start with Rumble super chats. Our great friend and fantastic supporter, Flavius. $20 says day shift clocking, and thank you so much, Flavius. And all of you Rumblers, you should be following me on Rumble. It's Normal America over on Rumble. You should follow me on Kick. It's Rob Noerr over on Kick. Please do so. We're trying to diversify the audience. And at some point here in the future, what we're going to do is we're going to start actually doing like the first half of the stream on YouTube and then the second half of the stream on Kick or Rumble, something like that. The reason for this is in case Democrats get back into power and decide they're going to massively put pressure on places like YouTube to censor people like me again, we're going to try to diversify. That's the idea. So, some super chats here real quick on the YouTube end. Our good friend Copycat Dude, who spilled coffee on his Normal America shirt. Don't worry, we got it all sorted out. Thank you for the $2. Naughty Germ! $5 as always, my friend. Man, do I ever appreciate it. Thank you for being one of the most consistent people that supports me. I really appreciate it. And for your moderation duties. You're fantastic. Says, can't watch visiting sister-in-law at hospital. Bad phone signal. Went outside to send this. I'll pray for your sister-in-law, man. I hope it's nothing serious. But you're a good brother-in-law, man, to go. I really enjoy all of my in-laws. So the old cliche jokes like, oh, you marry into a family and all the in-laws are coming over. Not me. I thoroughly like my in-laws, including my sister-in-law. I think she's hilarious. So, Mr. B, member for 6 months, man, says, Neuron bots assemble. Yes, we're all the dono bots. I keep getting accused. Not only is my channel botted, but the bots are apparently sending money. Where are they? I must have forgot to program the algorithm today. AJC, always incredible. Thank you so much, my friend, as always. $10 says, he's blinking too much. I don't trust him, with Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, he certainly was, wasn't he? Well, you saw the proof that Comer offered. Elbows down. Thank you so much for being a member, as always, man. Bruce, great to hear from you as well. $5 says, let's get Rob a new computer all 3 times to 357. Hey, man, I'll take it. I am gonna definitely try to get a new computer. I don't know what's going on with this piece of shit. It's only a couple years old, but AJC, $50. Thanks so much. Says, on a better note, when you said not to be so black-pilled, it got me thinking about how much my job helps people. I run a bread route and deliver to schools, grocery stores, and fast food places. Makes me happy people will have food for their tables every day. That is the absolute right mindset to have. I knew a guy, he sadly passed away. He was an older gentleman when I used to bartend that came in all the time. Great dude. His career, he had quite a decent amount of money. He ran a bread route. That was his career. And you wouldn't believe the stories he told me of how it just cheered people up, when he would see them. It really is amazing. Like, look, I'm sort of a prick when it comes to my online interactions from time to time. The nature of debate sometimes leads to aggressiveness, but I really try my best in my real life to the best of my, I don't want to say to the best of my ability. I try to make a point to know that my interactions with people can make their day worse or better. So if I go to a restaurant, I try to be super polite. Even like at DebateCon, like if there are people getting in the elevator that aren't associated with us any time, I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, thanks so much. Hey, great to see you. You just try to have a positive outlook. And for me, it makes me feel better that I'm always trying to just do little things. So I'm glad you have that perspective, AJC. Really am. Now, oh yeah, you can send a PayPal. Look at that. Are we not, man, killing it? Let's get those the payment bots rolling, right? Oh, buddy of mine sent something. My X account's been totally screwing up. You want to call in, but you're at work, Jerez? Well, someday, man. Stay over on Rumble. I'll answer this question. Says, as a rational guy, you clearly have a lot of anger at the left over the murder of Charlie, but how are you so sure the left is responsible given there's been no trial verdict yet? What I know is the traditional mechanisms of the left and many individuals, tens of thousands on the left, celebrated his murder. That's what I know. Let's assume that this was a nefarious plot by the French government, and they did it. Right-wingers in the French government, Marie Le Pen's crew. They assassinated Charlie Kirk because he was about to blow a big story on, the alt-right in France. Okay, let's assume that's the case. And who was it that overwhelmingly celebrated, continued does, mocks the wife of Charlie Kirk, media outlets criticize Charlie Kirk as being a fascist, politicians that criticize Charlie Kirk as being a fascist, racist, bigot, etc. Who was that? Oh, that was the left, overwhelmingly. So, Panelverse screwing with? Oh, no. All right. We're going to get to call on our good friend Zach Gilpy. $5 says, here's one Noron bot program to send some cash. Thank you, Zach. Always appreciate it. All right. Let's get to our first caller. I don't see their image. But I do think I know. Oh, shit. He just disappeared. Well, piss. Yeah, I agree. The overwhelming evidence seems to indicate that it was a left-winger. However, is it possible that there's a false flag that like some intel agency or right wingers or whatever put messages out knowing that the left would get blamed? It's possible. Yeah, college morons shouting, "We killed your homie." I was hoping that. So I'm going to bring up my other caller. Please, please, please. Now I know people are like want to talk about Paul. Anything you want to talk about. Here's the deal. The link's pinned to top of YouTube. You talk about anything. You talk about the Epstein stuff. You can talk about stupid bullshit drama. I don't care. You can talk about DebateCon. You can talk about Andrew Wilson's going to be doing a stream Spaces later today at some point for all of his haters to come and give all their grief to him that they have on this issue or that. You can talk about that stuff if you want. There was the stuff in Mexico I don't know much about, but sort of the uprising there. There was sort of a little bit of riots that we saw in places like Dearborn. Maybe you just have general commentary on economic matters. I'm open for anything as long as it's within terms of service, right? I was accused yesterday. Can you believe this? I was accused yesterday of always having the same people that call in. Womp, womp, womp. I can't help it. I have the best people. How's that my fault? How is that my fault? Yeah, man, I got a master's degree and it fucking probably hurt. Oh, yeah, Mom Donnie's going to meet with Trump. Here's the thing, Trump, listen, I'll say this real quick. Trump actually kind of spoke positively of AOC recently. And I think that Trump has an affinity because I think he sees something in Mom Donnie and people like AOC that he saw in himself a little. And that is someone that's coming at things from the non-traditional sort of established route of the Republicans and Democrats, who's sort of coming and pushing from one of the outsides and making headway in. I think he sees that with Mom Donnie. I think he sees that with AOC. So it's interesting. I'll be interested to see what that interaction's like, how much of it we see, you know? So, oh, this is going to be a good one. Hey, Avarice, what's up? Do you see this?
No, it's just Gerald.
Oh, just Gerald.
Yeah, I'm a new caller.
Do you see the troll that just came in backstage? Can you see?
No.
Maiden Wilson that's not cammed up?
Oh, I can't see that. No.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to send you down. I'm going to send you down and bring the.
Well,
bring
listen,
the.
I just want to be very clear. I'm not a normal. That Avarice guy.
Yeah, that's see, that's two people. This is Jess Gerald.
I'm Jess Gerald.
It's great to see you. I love the coat.
Yeah, look at the name tag.
That's true. It does say.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bring you up here later. I'm going to bring up the troll and see.
Oh, you know, I'm sitting back because Jess Gerald out.
All right, see you soon, Jess. Maiden Wilson, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
Rob?
Not much. What's happening?
So my question for you is, I just had a kid last year. He's going to turn 1 in 2 weeks. So I was wondering if you had any fatherly advice.
Wow. Sure. I'll give you some. One, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just winging it. I have 1 4-year-old, right? That's number one. The second thing I'll say is this, that as long as you're there and you're taking an interest, that's 95% of the battle. Every moment is a moment that you'll quickly regret. I don't want to say regret, you'll miss. So when I look back, I miss my son when he was an infant, and I miss him when he was 2, and I miss him when he was 3. But every stage has been amazing since then, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So for me, just talking and being as honest as possible as you can with your child, right? I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm totally fucking winging it. I really am, and I make mistakes all the time. But that's it. I just want him to know that he's an important part of my life, and that everything that I do, I'm doing for him and for my wife. So that's basically the only advice I have. I know it's cliche, but that's about it.
Thank you.
No problem. You realize with your name, I thought you were going to troll.
I don't realize that. I don't know how to do this on YouTube. That's my actual name. I wish I would have changed it.
I'm so sorry, dude. There's been a lot of people calling in trolling, and I thought with Andrew Wilson, I thought that someone called in and said that they knew
Andrew.
Rachel's cousin, his name was Andrew Wilson. That's all I'm saying. So sorry about that. Sorry about the prejudgment that was absolutely wrong.
No worries, man. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, man. I'm sorry I don't have more to offer, but I'll just say congratulations. It's the best thing that'll ever happen in your life, man. For real. It is every day of my life. I thank God that I met my beautiful wife and that I had my son. And it is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I hope that you experience all of that joy as well. All right, man. Thanks. Also, I see in the chat a special shout out to our friend Old Joe. So I left for DebateCon last Wednesday. And I drove to outside of Columbus, in between Columbus and Cincinnati, and we got a hotel. And as I was there, I'm looking for something to listen to at night before I fall asleep. So, like, I'm brushing my teeth, scroll through YouTube. And I saw on my Discord that Old Joe had mentioned, that's right, sometimes I do read my own Discord. I don't comment often, but I read and chuckle. And I saw that Old Joe had posted that he was going to be on someone's channel, and he was going to be talking about the Panelverse. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't drama. I'm not talking about this. This has nothing to do with me. Old Joe went on, and I thought he had an amazing performance. And if I could make it, like, specifically, in general, tell you what Old Joe was saying, it's that there's a lot of really shitty stuff that happens on the, quote, Panelverse. And by that, he means sort of the wide-ranging sort of group of people that are familiar with calling into these same types of shows. And what he's specifically criticizing is, yes, there's entertainment to be had there, and yes, there are things that could be informative there. But there's also this, like, sort of cancer there where people are sort of watching people's misery. And there's been people, and again, I want to extricate myself from this situation. I'm not talking about any interactions that I've necessarily had or things they've done to me, like worse stuff. Like people that they've called, certain folks have called into their work and tried to get them fired, or people that are deteriorating, and their lives are sort of spiraling out of control. And people were watching it like an episode of Jerry Springer or something. And he's like, it's not healthy for you. And you should actually, like, take yourself out of that, because watching people's misery for your entertainment is not healthy. And that what you should do instead is maybe limit the times that you're interacting and trying to limit that sort of, like, high level, or I don't want to say high level, limit yourself from that sort of watching people's pain for your own enjoyment. And I thought he was very articulate with it. And it's certainly true and good advice even outside the scope of the Panelverse. I do this channel, and this is my job now, and I spend an awful lot of time online streaming. Most of it's about politics, but even that could get dark and depressing. I have to constantly check myself and leave what I'm saying at the door. For those that got to meet my wife at DebateCon, I say this all the time, and maybe it sounds cliche, but if you got to meet my wife, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. I have the good fortune of having amazing support people in my family, like my wife and an awesome kid. And so I could leave it at the door. When I go downstairs and I talk to my wife, we ain't talking about streaming stuff. We're talking about, like, we understand, right? It's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I need to touch grass. I need to have a life outside of this. And I think a lot of people, like, sort of get caught up in all of the stuff that happens and, like, the characters online. Again, I'm not saying specifically in our little corner of the internet necessarily. I think that what Joe's saying here could apply outside the scope of that. The chess drama that I was talking about, the chess streamers, where this great, Daniel Nanditsky, took his own life, and largely because of bullshit drama that was occurring in the chess community. Like, it is important, man. The shit we talk about here is serious, in my opinion, and sometimes not so serious. Sometimes it's drama-based and stuff, but most of the time I'm talking about serious political issues and that I truly believe. That's what I'm talking about. That's 95% of my show. Or serious debates on things that I truly believe. But even then, remember, your relationship with God, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your community, those things are more important. And you don't want to get bogged down into, like, all of a sudden, it's just this constant fucking, like, I'm just online. I'm addicted to being online. I'm addicted to, like, so, like, I thought Old Joe absolutely nailed it. Yeah, I get it, Joe. It's not directed to the streamers necessarily. But I think that it is great advice. Of course, I think erroneously, and Old Joe could talk about it someday if he wants to call in, I believe that the members of the Panelverse, I didn't get to watch all of it, but that were sort of calling in and talking to him, were defensive, and you could understand why, because this is their community, and they're defensive against these sort of claims, and they wanted to say, but Joe, you've engaged in it. And Joe's argument was, sure, but that doesn't disprove. It's no different than someone that was an alcoholic telling you, like, hey, you should cut back on drinking. Yeah, but didn't you used to drink a lot? Yeah? That's how I know. Right? So I didn't understand that level of criticism. And of course they were they were very defensive about the whole thing, which I understand, but I did not think it was coming from a place of anger or resentment from old Joe. I thought it was coming from a place of, look, I'm just trying. If there's anyone out there that needs to hear this message, like sometimes this drama stuff could be overwhelming. Sometimes dealing with people that are sort of watching other people in their misery it affects you. It affects your soul. And so maybe you should consider seeing the positivity in life and not spending all of your time chronically on these spaces, in like weird parasocial relationships or things like that. So, but very well done, old Joe. I just wanted to say that. All right, next up, our good friend Yinzer. What's happening, Yinzer? How you doing today?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, good.
I would say you missed out on a great game last Sunday. It was being in the stadium during that time was freaking amazing.
How about Ramsey getting booted because Jamar Chase spit on him, and then Chase denying it, and now of course the video evidence.
Well,
Doesn't
in the
it amaze
game,
you? Like that you weren't gonna see it. I mean, it's the NFL. They got 50 million cameras there. He didn't think that there was gonna be footage of it.
well, like when it first happened, we just saw like for 5 minutes of just non-gameplay and just like pushing and shoving and like refs throwing people away. Like we eventually saw the smack, the open, I guess the closed fisted hit, but like we didn't see the spit on the big screen. We only saw the closed fisted hit. But like when people started looking into those deep cameras, like, oh yeah, we saw the spit then. And it was like, yeah, you fucking did it. You fucking deserve that hit.
And by the way, I'm not a Mike Tomlin fan. I don't like him at all. But his comment on this, right, where they asked him, and he's just like, I think if another man spits on you, you do what comes naturally. Which is basically his way of saying, yeah, whoop his ass. I don't have a problem with if someone spit on me, I'd whoop their ass too.
No, it was, but like one pick six and then a fumble recovery for a touchdown. It was just a great game, man. You
good
missed
stuff.
out.
I did miss out. I was having a much better time than just watching the game. I could have recorded it, but I'm not into the sports like I used to be. Old Rob, like 10 years ago, Rob would have been like, DVR that fucker. No one tell me the results when I get home, But yeah, I saw the highlights in the evening. I was a little tipsy and I was looking at the highlights. I was like, all right. But it was kind of funny because I had came through Cincinnati, which is not really my neck of the woods. And so it was funny. I was like, oh shit, they're playing Cincinnati right now. So also the Penguins beat the Predators while I was down in Nashville, which was nice.
I mean, we have a solid chance. We can win it in overtime. We have a solid chance of going all the way.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's great. Old timers, Malkin, Crosby, Letang, old men playing with these young kids. It's good shit. But anyways, people aren't going to give it. Everyone right now is like, oh my fucking god! It's like listening to Avarice debate Green Lantern. People listening to me and you. The people are like,
I'll switch the topic. But one thing I wanted to say is, I used to be a very big fan of Sitch and Adam, especially when they were close with Sargon. And I don't know what it is, but I think the TDS is out of the ordinary. And the fact that they deny the TDS exists for them, it blows my mind. Because I went back, saw the clips, went back, saw the whole debate back on he calls him a lane centrist. I forget who it is. But you went on his channel to debate Sitch and Adam, and it was. The TDS is strong, I think.
Yeah, so I haven't watched a lot. I still like Sitch and Adam, I do. But yeah, the interaction I had on there the first time, it was surreal, right? I go on. I was a fan of Sitch and Adam's show. I watched it a lot. And it was one of the shows. In fact, I'll look here real quick, the specific date. Because if you guys go to my YouTube channel and you check out the videos, not the live, but the videos. My editor, Black Elk, has been putting up a lot of videos from Blast from the Past. This particular interaction I had with him was in December of 2022, so roughly 3 years ago. And I was a big fan. I was excited. This was a bigger show at the time that I got to do. And Adam treated me like shit the entire time, like constantly mocking me.
Well, it's just comedy. It's just comedy. Why are you so mad? It's just comedy.
Which I didn't care. I powered through it, right? And Stitch was having a more honest conversation, but the nature of the conversation, if I could distill it down to this, we were talking about, quote, conspiracies, like the Hunter Biden laptop and his actions at Burisma and, Joe Biden's quid pro quo and stuff like that. I was saying that the preponderance of circumstantial evidence that we see with actions of the FBI's corruption against Donald Trump in Russiagate, and then sort of the circumstantial evidence we could see from their lack of action. In fact, contrary to that, the intel agency saying the Hunter Biden laptop looked like Russian disinformation and all the shit that we saw going with that showed that there was bullshit that was going on with that. And that what would happen would be that the story would be buried until later, once the evidence fully came out. It would be years later, and people would say, well, who gives a shit about that? I think that I've been vindicated. That's exactly what happened. Sitch's perspective is more, no, it's dangerous to think things like that without sort of like almost definitive ironclad proof, because it allows us to believe conspiracy theories that end up being dangerous and aren't true. And so we shouldn't jump to conclusions like that. Instead, we should wait for smoking gun proof to come out. My counter to that is, yes, but we're not going to see smoking gun proof in the majority of these situations. And we, as average, everyday people, shouldn't have to rely on the FBI to provide us proof that the FBI has done something corrupt. We should be able to make the decisions to make the best decision possible. This is what we do in everything in life.
They did the same thing with when it came to Kyle Rittenhouse. There wasn't definitive proof that he was self-defense, but all the evidence that we could see in our judgment could see, like, no, it was actually self-defense. But it's like, but it's when it's the FBI, it's like, well, we need a little more proof than just logic and a lot of this like breadcrumb truths, which lead to an inevitable truth.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's like the way we operate as voters, as people, like, that's a different level of proof than convicting someone in a court of law. Our legal system's set up intentionally to sort of make sure the defense has every advantage possible. Right? So you have to be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal trial. But my level of proof before saying, hey, I demand that we focus on corruption at the FBI and we want changes at the FBI, or I'm going to support politicians that suggest those sorts of things, that's a different level of proof. And it would be the same, like your level of proof of why you're voting for someone. Well, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because I think Trump's a corrupt, Russian-loving businessman. I think he has corrupt deals in Russia. Okay, you don't need a level of proof for that statement that's like, I'm convicting him beyond all reasonable doubt. And that's what I was saying. I was like, I think, and then ultimately what happened is, if I could just cut to the end here, we go back and forth on this, and Adam's joking his way through it and what have, and I'm constantly being interrupted by them, but it's fine. I'm on their show, no problem. And they are continuing to basically implicitly or directly say that I'm biased, that I believe this shit because I dislike the Democrats or I dislike the FBI. Okay, and then I made the claim, well, you guys have a bias as well. And they flipped shit and threatened to kick me off the show. That's what happened. And for years, Adam said that I called them liars. I was like, go through the stream. It was like a 4-hour stream. I don't remember ever calling you a liar. You guys said I had a bias, and I said you have a bias too. And that offends them because they consider themselves centrist. And so they don't like people saying that they have a bias. But guess what? I don't give a shit what political persuasion you are, including centrist. You too have a bias. You do. Their particular bias, at least Sitch's, was he has a bias towards trusting the authority. And so it's going to take a huge amount of proof for him to distrust that authority in the FBI. That's fine. But don't act like I have a bias and you don't, because you clearly do. And for them to get super fucking pissed off, like, now, I'm not trying to rehash or relitigate it other than to say my editor put these videos out because he thought that it aged remarkably well for me. That the things I was saying about the Hunter Biden laptop were true. And exactly what I said would happen, happened. Now we just all accept, like, it's pretty much true. But oh well, it's a long time ago. Who gives a shit? That was 2016, 2020. Who gives a fuck? So, that's exactly what happens. And by the time people come around to being like, yeah, I guess. Oh well. Same with Russiagate. Yeah, I guess the FBI legally spied on Trump. Oh, well. Well, great. Yeah. If only we would have been more vigilant at the time. But instead, when people like me in 2017 and 2018 was like, what the fuck are the FBI doing? People, I can't say Adam and Sitch, but people that have that mentality of like, now wait. We have to wait until there's smoking gun. Well, we waited, and then we found out in 2021, 2022, and it was like, this is a long time ago. What can we do about that? And that's the way it goes in perpetuity. And the same people tell us, don't use circumstantial evidence. Don't do that. Wait for proof. And then we're always waiting. And then by the time the proof comes, it's always too late.
Yeah, it's sad, but I know you have probably a bunch of callers, so I'll let you be. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Yinzer. Yes, someday we'll just have a Pittsburgh sports stream. And we
Oh,
could
I
call
would.
him. I could tell you stories about athletes that I've met and good stuff like that. We'll do a whole section. We'll see if we get Jeff Reed on to discuss
Oh,
kicking paper towel dispensers at a Sheets restroom.
oh, okay. Sounds like a good idea, man. I
All
hope you
right,
have a
take
good
it
rest
easy.
of your
It's
day. See
great
ya.
to hear from you. Mike Rockburns, $10 says, "Hey Rob, I was the dude at DebateCon sitting at the booth watching kickball and darts. I wish I would have introduced myself. I just didn't want to be weird. You're the nicest guy in person. Thank you for the $10. Yes! Every time I'd walk by, Mike was like sitting at the bar, and it was like ESPN was having like from that movie Dodgeball where they have ESPN 8, the Ocho, and there's a bunch of ridiculous sports. For some reason, they were having a day like that. And so it was like playing, I forget what it was, like table darts and regular darts and kickball and shit like that. And Mike was sitting there watching us, like, keep us updated, man, because I had to keep running back and forth because I was doing shit. It was very funny, though. But yeah, it was great meeting you, Mike. And I wish you would have introduced yourself. It was great meeting you, though. We read that one. Thanks, Zach. Jordan, $5 says, alert, Norbot automated super chat. If this message is displayed, your automated super chat account is active. Please check your email to confirm. Thank you, Jordan Lofgren bot. Appreciate it. And OG2, thanks so much for the gifted membership. Really appreciate it. Now, remember, Noron bots, get your donations in. All right, next up, we got our good friend from the Main First Project, sponsor of DebateCon. What's up, Zach? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. I slept weird. I think there was like a cold draft or something, so I'm gonna have to make sure all my windows are sealed. But I'm doing good. I'm in a good mood. So,
well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly come on and first just thank you and thank the Crucible crew. You definitely made Mike and I feel welcome and part of the crew. So I really appreciate it. It was very
well,
hard.
it was. Now listen, I know that you're not the biggest fan of Islam, so when we're putting those slides together, I was like, I can't wait to see what Zach thinks. So I'm watching that first when Andrew, because he speaks second when he puts that first slide up, and it's like inbreeding in the Muslim community. I turn around, I was like, aha, good, we did good, we did good. So it was great, and you brought a lot of energy, which I thought was desperately needed. I thought it was very good, and really set the tone right there from the beginning of the first day with Jake Rattlesnake debating. That was the first debate that I watched, and the energy was through the roof all day, largely because you set the tone. So we all thank you for that, man, and thanks for the support too of you and Mike coming down. You guys were great. I enjoyed talking to you all the time. I always found myself, because constantly someone would be like, find this person. So I'd come in the room, and then you and Mike were always there, and I was like, hey, what's up, guys? Then we'd just end up bullshitting.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something. I forgot,
It was so hilarious. People like kept on like just leaving shit on our table and just being like, hey, can you watch this? Or hey, where's so and so? Or where's the next debate going to be? Like, we worked there. It was kind of funny. I was like,
yeah.
Half the time I had no idea. I was like, I don't know, man.
I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's good shit.
But in terms of what you just talked about, that's just part of the playbook of the leftists. They want to run out the clock until it's too late. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this from just friends of mine growing up that I still talk to, when it came to like Hillary Clinton. Well, I don't care about Hillary Clinton. I never liked her anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, but you certainly were going to vote for her. You certainly voted for her, and you certainly, pushed the narrative against Trump. So, like, just because you don't like her now, it's okay to go after her. How about when people that you do like that are doing dishonest things? Like if Trump did do dishonest things, like let's say he was part of the Epstein files, I would want him impeached.
Yep. It's sorry, Jess Gerald's hassling me in the background. It's not Jess Gerald, it's Everest, but nonetheless, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing, right? They also right do this thing where everyone's indisposable on their side. There's this like the superstars on the left are basically just manufactured. It's just insert random person. In fact, you already see it, right? Where like the ideal Democratic candidate is generic Democrat, right? Because all of it's like focused on sort of just offense against Donald Trump, offense against Republicans, et cetera, et cetera. And I've said this a long time for the Democrats, because of the massive sort of propaganda network that they have, the ideal time for a candidate to announce is like the day before the election, right? Because as you get to see more and more of, like, everyone says Kamala Harris was at a huge disadvantage because she only had a couple months of campaign. She would have done worse if she had longer. The more people got to see her, the worse it would be. Most of the people were just voting against Donald Trump or for generic Democrat. The more you saw Kamala Harris, you're like, oh shit, just really bad. Same with Joe Biden. That's why they kept Joe Biden in the basement in 2020. Right. It's just, don't let the fucking guy out. That's no good for us.
Right. Yeah.
And so they don't care. They'll bury one of their own when it no longer affects them. They don't care. I can't tell you how many debates I've had. Well, Trump obstructed justice. He told, William Nada to move boxes. That's obstruction of justice. Like, okay, well, Hillary's team, like, literally destroyed subpoenaed evidence. That's clear-cut obstruction of justice. And yet no one paid the price. You know how many times I bring that up and people go, okay, they should have. And I'm like, great. I'm glad you agree. Now, if my contention is, and I don't really give a shit about Hillary Clinton, and I also don't give a shit about Donald Trump as much as I give a shit about these institutions that remain in perpetuity like the FBI. Now that you agree that the FBI is aggressively going after Trump for this and did the exact opposite with Hillary, and you're like, yes, they should have charged Hillary's team, don't you have a problem with the FBI? You see, and they won't go that far, which belies. See, the truth is, they didn't want anyone in Hillary's team arrested. But now they could say it because it's a throwaway. And that's how they think they could win the argument. Oh, yeah, I gave a shit. It's why one of the first debates I did on Sarah's panel, she used to do this thing, and maybe she still does it, I don't know, where it would be like you would come on and you would make your case for like an hour, and then they would just bring everyone on to argue with you. And the case I made on her channel was, we should mock and laugh at these lefties that want to complain about Trump's corruption and his bad tweets that had no problem with the Democrat lawfare against him.
Oh, I remember this. Fatty was kind of interrupting you the entire time.
Right.
Right?
The argument, the reason I'm saying that is I'm tired of them controlling the narrative. Right? They all do this, right? As this corruption's going on, they're like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the lawfare against Trump, it's okay. And then Trump's team comes in, they're like, we're going to go after Democrats. And they're like, oh my gosh, no. And when you're like, well, look what they did to Trump. That's whataboutism. That was a long time ago, and I wasn't for that. Fuck you. Right? I just don't care. The last time I debated Destiny, he says at the final 10 minutes, of course the FBI was corrupt in their opening of the investigation into Trump. As if he always thought that. As if I haven't argued with him for 4 fucking years on that very point. Then he throws it in and gaslights everyone. This is what I always thought. And now Rob agrees with me. Now, is there anyone with half a brain that's ever heard one video I did that thought that I was arguing against the FBI being corrupt and going after Trump? But that's what Destiny will have you believe. No, this is always the point. And I'll put it like this. There's a person who's very dear to me. And I've told this story before. And this reminds me of debating these lefties. And it was way back when. I'm going to use a baseball metaphor, so everyone's going to tune out. But the Pirates had this pitcher. I think his name was Paul Mahomes, was the specific pitcher we were talking about. Best pitcher on their team. And this person that I'm talking to, I'm in a car with him. So you're just bantering. And he's like, the Pirates need to get rid of this guy. And I'm like, why? He's their best pitcher. Well, because his fastball sucks. He can only throw it like 92 mile an hour. Who gives a shit? His other pitches are clearly working. The proof's in his record. The proof's in his ERA. He's clearly doing a good job. Like, who gives a shit if he can only throw 70 mile an hour? It's working. Right? Like, what's the issue?
Who cares?
So we're talking the whole way. It's like a half-hour drive. And when we pull into our location, this person, after a half hour of back and forth, just to let you know how this went, as we pull in, the person goes, that's why it'd be nuts to get rid of Paul Mahomes. Why the fuck would you even suggest that? And I was like, I didn't. That was your argument. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Why are you getting so animated? I'm like, you fucking idiot. That was my argument. And now you just adapt my argument and gaslight. Fuck, this was before I ever heard the term gaslighting. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's what it's like to argue with these lefties. Yeah. Of course. I argued with you for 4 years that, Hillary Clinton shouldn't be charged, but now I've always said she should have been. No, you haven't. Yeah, I did. Anyways. And
I have a question, Rob. Did he do that just to piss you off? Like,
this person did not.
Did he
I know this person.
Say, oh, I was saying this all along?
Did Destiny or the person I'm talking? The person I'm talking about.
The guy you're talking. Destiny's an idiot.
No, the
That
guy I'm talking about has some issues.
Okay.
I know that person. Destiny's doing he's doing this because there's political all that matters for them is just fucking win the political argument in the here and now. It does
Right.
not matter.
Yeah.
Whatever, they'll completely flip on a dime.
Lie, cheat, and steal.
Yep.
Right.
Lock up your opponents when they're in charge, when the other side gets in. Oh my gosh, who could even suggest it? Call for political violence and shit like that. Make allegories to political violence, no problem. The other side says, like, push them back. Oh my goodness, this is the worst rhetoric ever. It justifies us saying whatever the fuck we're saying. All right, before I leave, you go.
That's Zach Gelpy, everybody. That's Zach Gelpy.
Yeah.
We got Zach Gelpy, everybody. Zach
Yes.
Gelpy's
Jets
Gerald.
Gerald.
Wait. That's
Oh,
Zach
Jess Gerald.
Gelpy.
Sorry.
Zach
Jess
Gelpy's
Gerald,
in the house,
everyone.
everybody. That's Zach Gelpy. Just letting you guys know.
There.
Zach Gelpy.
He
How
was
you doing, buddy?
haranguing me in the back. He's over 9,000, says Jess Gerald. Now,
Before I go, because we have a native Alaskan here, okay, I'm going to start a little beef because I was hearing a couple of days ago other Alaskans saying they have the best seafood in the world. I don't know. I think Mainers might have something to say about that.
Shenanigans. You know nothing of halibut. You know nothing of salmon. Get out of here.
Well,
Zach Gelpy,
makes
everybody.
you sick, first
Zach
off.
Gelpy,
Now,
everybody.
Okay, I'll give you that. You know, you do have the king crab, but we have the king of them all. We got the main lobster.
Who is Zach
over
Gelpy?
here.
If you don't know who Zach Gelpy is the main man, helped put DebateCon together, sponsored the whole thing. Wouldn't happen if it wasn't for this guy above here. He brought the family together. And if it wasn't for this man, I wouldn't have been able to see all my family. Yes, my voice is gone because I was on Abe Dinkus's trashing a panel of people last night to raise those donos for our crew. All right. That's Zach Gelpy, everybody. Zach Gelpy.
Thank you, Jess Gerald. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
that's just Gerald. He's a good guy, man.
Dude, I do the champagne pops on the Whatever podcast. I don't know if you know that. The girls love me. I'm single, by the way. I'm single.
Oh,
yeah.
where does the fiction end and the truth begin?
I'm actually single. I'm 6'2". I've got some brown
that
hair
is true.
in Alaska. I'm Orthodox, looking for a pretty trad girl out there. All right, looking. All right. My downside is I smoke. I'm working on it, girls. I'm fit, but I do the champagne pops on the Whatever podcast because I'm just Gerald.
I'm sure
Also
Avarice and his wife are
Also
really
in
cheering
person.
this on.
Champagne pops in person as well.
Oh yeah,
Not
and in
person.
person. Yeah, I'll champagne pot TTSs across the board. All right. Make sure to get those out. The Whatever TTSs.
Well, Zach, I just thank you so much for being here. I know me and Jess Gerald very much appreciate it. So
we love it.
real quick, before you go, Zach,
Yeah.
we were talking about Maine First yesterday, and
Yeah.
someone said I think they said this in a skeptical sense. So if you can give like a 2-minute pitch, they say, I'd love to hear his proof that these left-wing policies start in Maine.
Pitch it.
Sure.
Pitch it.
I can definitely do that. First off, if you look at just the immigration issue or the so-called asylum seeking issue, that's been going on. We're just hearing it now throughout the country. Maine has been dealing with that since the early 90s. If you look at the Somali population in Maine, it's per capita is even larger than in Minnesota. There are towns where there are actual no-go zones within those towns, meaning if you're not Somali, you're liable to get shot. And you can look that up. You can Google it. It's been widely reported, even in the left-wing media, which is most of the media in Maine. When it comes to the trans issue, Maine is all over national news because of that issue, and we've been dealing with that for years now. So there's that. I can go on. I can list a lot of them, but you could be skeptical. Just do a quick Google search, and you'll find that most of the stuff that we're seeing throughout the country started in Maine, and the reason being is Maine is such a cheap date financially, politically, that the left can kind of pour a bunch of money into Maine for a discount and solidify their messaging and solidify the issue, and then take what they've learned in Maine and branch it off throughout the country. So that's why it's happening.
Yeah, and like you have to understand, like, it intuitively makes sense too, right? You're going to do things in your stronghold, right? That you're going to then push out to like the broader country as whole, right? So for a state like me, Pennsylvania, that's purple, they're going to try to seem more reasonable, right? They're going to sort of test this in places where they know, well, if the people don't like it that much, we will face no political consequences whatsoever. So that's why it's important. If we start to make inroads in Maine and they do some of this dumb shit and all of a sudden you see more conservatives elected up there, what that will do will take away their good testing ground where they won't be able to have this safe haven anymore. And they'll have to be like, fuck, we can't even get off the ground with some of these shitty policies because even here in Maine, we're seeing significant pushback. That's sort of the point. And by the way, it's something that the Democrats do very well, particularly like the lefties. They find spaces that are dominated in deep red and they say, we're going in there. And we never do the same. And that's why I think what you're doing is very important. Like
well,
here in Pennsylvania. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're actually using their tactics against them. I encourage everyone in the chat to read Rules for Radicals by Saul Lewinsky.
Yep.
I mean, everything in that book is literally what you're seeing today. And not to mention that, but to your point, Rob, Colorado used to be a ruby red state. Used to, those of us old enough to have seen it know it's true. And now it's a blue state. Well, how did that happen? What you said. The left recruited leftist communists to run at every level of government in Colorado, from dog catcher all the way to statewide offices, with the exact same message. And at first they were losing, but it was a 30-year plan. And eventually the message that was first very taboo in the state of Colorado became mainstream. And by doing so, then they started winning. We as conservatives got to stop thinking next election cycle. We got to start thinking 30 years ahead of time. I know it sounds bad and we want things immediately done now and fixed now, but the communists, it took 100 years to systematically change the political landscape here in America. And it's going to take, at least a half of that to change it back.
I couldn't agree more. And this is why it was so disheartening to me. Like when I was talking to Republicans constantly, like I told people about working for Trump's campaign in 2020, I'm sitting on this call. What are we doing to reach like traditional groups that don't vote Republican, like inner city blacks? In my state of Pennsylvania, it's all about Pittsburgh and Philly, right? That's where like half the population is. So if you ever look at a map of Pennsylvania, it's like red, 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 and then deep blue, right? Now Pittsburgh's getting better. Philly's deep blue. Right? So what are we doing? How are we going in there? And they told me, we go after the low-hanging fruit. It's all about driving up turnout. And what I told them was, you can't be upset and wonder why these people in the inner cities only vote Democrat if we're unwilling to go in there. Now, I'm not saying that I go in there today and then all of a sudden the next election is like, hey, 60% of Philly voted red. That's not going to happen. But maybe instead of 3%, it's 5%. And then next time it's 7%. And then all of a sudden 15 years from now, it's 30%. And then maybe 30 years from now, it is more than 50%. But you'll never know if you don't try. The other thing is, there's a concern. I get this. The big tent argument. But if we bring everyone in, do we lose sight of what it really means to be conservative? What are we conserving? My argument is, you take allies where you can when it comes to the vote, right? You should be able to sell your message to every group. I could sell my message why you should be conservative, you should vote Republican. I could sell that to a trans Muslim. I can, right? Yeah, I'm not going to bullshit them and be like, oh, we accept like the trans ideology. We'll say things like, look, we're not fucking trying to throw you in jail. We're just saying we disagree with your worldview in this, but we're actually planning for the future for like economic viability, right? We're actually people that are like focusing on securing our borders. There are people that we're going to let in through the open borders and through mass migration that fucking hate you. Like, they're going to end you. They will make what you're doing illegal. They will institute Sharia law. So better deal with us that we might just think you're a fucking weirdo, but we're largely going to let you alone, right? And we're going to give you economic prosperity. That's what you should cheer for. So you don't have to change your message. You just have to be able to say, if you truly have a good message, why it should apply to everyone.
Right.
And so
you can enhance, and that's where targeted mail comes into play. I don't want to get total nerd out on that. But yeah, that's where targeted mailing and messaging comes into play. That's where the groundwork of, campaigning comes in. I mean, I would say about 80% of campaigns are done information gathering, and the last, 20% is the actual vote drive.
Totally agree.
I can go. I can nerd out on this all day, but I will just say one more point on why Maine is so important. If we can turn Maine red, that makes a huge crack into the blue wall. The blue wall still exists. Trump made a great headway against it, in this past election cycle and in 2016. But it's a real thing, and we're not going to have Trump after this turn. So we got to find ways to mitigate their advantage, and their advantage is the blue wall. And I don't know if folks in your chat know what the blue wall is, but if you take a look at the electoral map, you have New England, you have New York, you have Minnesota, Michigan. Not so much Pennsylvania anymore, but you have all of the West Coast basically. And by just having that, literally Republicans have to do well and run the table everywhere else in order to have a chance to win.
Yep.
So in order to really mitigate that, we need to find places where demographically we have a white working class majority of people. I hate to put it that way, but politics is demographics, and we have that in Maine. That's why we're operating there.
Yeah, I think it's
the main goal.
Absolutely.
Zach Gelpy, everybody.
Zach, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Zach Gelpy, everybody.
Yeah.
That's Zach fucking Gelpy.
Now listen, we got the great Jess Gerald on here. And,
man.
everyone's like, bullshit. Oh yeah?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. You can't, that's it. You can't dispute that.
Listen.
That shirt says it. The little box there says it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it.
Here. Usually I go on, I usually frequent the Rattlesnake TV because that's where the girls are at.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, you're right.
So I figured, it's been a little stale over there.
And listen,
I'd give it a try over here.
And to get your name on StreamYard here like that, you have to send ID verification, which you used your jacket, as your ID verification, which also, now listen, Jess Gerald, I have to go to the restroom for a minute.
Don't worry.
I'll leave you in chair. Gerald, run the show. I'll be right back.
Chair. I gotta tell you, it's a dangerous dating game out there in Alaska. All right. So all the girls out there in the lower 48, Orthodox, I'm looking, 6'2", good looking guy. Chair, any suggestions? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, maybe I do need a little bit more confidence. Yeah, being in Alaska does make it hard. Interesting. I've never thought. Oh, look out. Oh, don't sit on him. Oh,
Zach Gelpy is dead. Even my wife likes the chair more than me. Who's this imposter?
Oh my gosh.
What? What? That's crazy.
Listen, I'm the guy that does the champagne pops. All right.
That is true.
Gerald. Look at, I'm still single, ladies out there. All
right, I gotta read some super chats. Jack, the guitar god, thanks so much. $10 says, I just had an argument about the Hunter Biden laptop thing today. Just curious, what was the conclusion of that guy said? Because it went through 5 different sets of hands. It wasn't legit. Yeah, I mean, basically what they're trying to say is the evidence that came out, this was the claim that they made, this came through like Rudy Giuliani's hands. And so we couldn't believe any of it because it came through his hands. And so although it's true that the laptop was true, the specific hard drive that ended up being made public may have been untrue because it went through a bunch of different people's hands. I think that's the point they were making. It's been a long time since then, but I think that was basically the gist of what they were trying to say, which is absurd because there was never even really a denial on the most important things that people were focused on that were legitimate. Remember, right? You have two parties in an email exchange or two parties in a text exchange. And never forget that one of the business associates, Tony Bobolinsky, was out there saying, yes, this is legit. I'm the person getting this. And still the Democrats were like, well, we just don't know, right? Maybe Rudy Giuliani faked this. Bobolinsky's like basically banging at the FBI's door like, I want to testify. I want to give you all this evidence. And they're like, we'll get back to you. And that's about it. So yeah, it's a total joke. Hellbat, thanks for the $5. Says, holy smokes, Rob stream at this time. Then again, I'm asleep around this time. So what's up, day crew? Almost every weekday I'm doing a stream at this time. That's going to change in the near future because the fat guy Rob here has got to start doing some real stuff around the house. Like, my goodness, when am I going to set Christmas lights up? Courtney is on me. She's like, we got to get those lights up, which is true, you know. And then Gabriel, $10 says thanks, or says greetings. This is Gabriel from Debate Gone. We had a brief dialogue about problem-solving verbal debating. Yes, I remember. He says, I sent you a message on X as you requested about scheduling a good faith dialogue. I did not get that, if I'm honest, unless something like I can't show you, obviously, because it's DMs, but I saw this super chat come in, and so I looked. I got Nacho, someone that's not you, then my man Ryan, that Law and Order. New episode Monday. That'll be coming up. Black Elk, Hockey, Max, Black Pill Jeff, Jim Bub, Trey, and then Indian Jesus. That's from November 13th. So that's 8 days ago. That's the messages I have.
Someone's telling you to look in the requests, Rob.
Oh, fuck.
It looks like you need a nap.
There it is. There it is.
Listen, I've been going at it. I literally went from
Gabriel.
last night to straight into Abe's stream, and we helped our buddy Abe Dinkus. You know, I'm just trying to help the crew out with these dono bars to keep them in.
This is brutal. There's so many people that messaged me on requests that I didn't see because I talked to so many people and I was like, message me, I'll see it. And then I hadn't. I'm so sorry. I will get back to you, Gabriel. I promise. Give me a day or two. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is terrible.
He takes longer than he says.
That's true. Oh my goodness. All right. I will get to all those. There's like 9 of them. Shit. Bad news. Zach, $10 says Chair will hook you up. Thank you, Zach. Ron Quay, member for 10 months, says that
I
class
think
yesterday was
about
hilarious.
we were talking, me and the Chair were having a one-on-one personal about dating advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
we were talking about the Orthodox Church and the one I have in Sitka, you know, that you have to go out. But, you know, everybody sees the movie The Proposal and it's kind of hard. They're like, I don't want to go all the way up where Sandra Bullock went.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chair. He's got good advice. Hellbat says, Chair, that comment about Alaskan women fighting polar bears and winning is unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Chair's got that.
Oh my.
Yeah, the clash yesterday over on the Panelverse. A cool Vic, who's actually cool, and I assume named Vic. Yeah, I went over there. It was funny.
So to answer you, Grid, I will open it up for you. I'm almost done with the super secret project, and then I can send you an entire file.
There you go. Grid did a great job, man, at his event that he had.
You know what? Tell you what, I gave a teaser to yesterday's night crew. If you guys get that bar, since we know it's morning crew, we get that bar to 50%. I'll show you a teaser of Avarice's super secret project. It has been more edited than yesterday when I showed it.
Let's do. I'd say 75%.
Okay, 70. It's a good teaser. I get in trouble for this. Yeah,
here's the
75.
deal.
I'll do that.
Mr. E, if we don't, you're putting yourself on the line. No one wants to be on the end of a Mr. E scream fest.
Yeah. So we get that bar to 75%, okay, of the dono bar. I will show you the super secret Avarice project that will only be released when Mr. E is wanting to release it.
That could be years. It could be years.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So
we don't know.
Let's get that bar.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you in the back and bring up a couple more callers, and then I'm going to bring you back up, and we're going to be at 75%.
That's
And
gonna
we're
be
gonna
awesome.
see this.
It'll give me time to fill my coffee and get all those profiles in. Women, you can find me in Rattlesnake TV Discord, Jess Gerald. And I'm gonna make my way into the Rob Noerr, but we know that you hot chicks, you're all we know where you are. All right. I'm a single, all right. I'm still young, really rich. All right. I do the champagne pops. I'm Jess Gerald. All right. 6'2". I'm Chad. All right. I'm quite the Chad. All right.
It's
All right,
true.
women. So just while I'm back there, think about it, girls.
It's true.
Jess
All
Gerald.
right, we'll talk to you soon, Jess Gerald. 75%. We'll get to the project that he's working on. It's pretty badass too. From all things DebateCon, footage, etc. All right, next we're gonna bring up our friend Jason from. Can I just call you Jason now?
Yeah, that's what I go by, man. That's I dropped the moniker Aircraft Sparky, rebranded the channel Vox Populi 1788. Enjoyed watching you debate Mr. Foolery.
Yes.
Lived up to his name. Good job there.
He was game. He was game to at least do that debate. One thing I'll say positive about
for that.
It was a hostile environment towards him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and me and you've been in that boat, maybe not in person, but how many times have we been on a panel where it's like 7 people on the panel that hate us, the mod hates us, and the entire audience hates us, and we're like, fuck you, we don't care.
Yeah. No, it was actually lots of props to him and great job to Grid One.
Yes,
for organizing that event. He did a great job. He picked a piss poor moderator, but he'll do better next time.
I thought Gibbs was fine. He was probably a little drunk by the end of it, but I didn't mind.
And that's why he's a piss poor moderator. You know, you got to stay sober on the job.
Well, I will say this. It's look, all joking aside, right? I'm going to find myself in a position with Word War where I'm going to be working the entire day. And I know how it is. You're going to have all these awesome people that are like, let's have a drink. And I'm going to be like, no, I cannot do it because that's a different beast.
Well, it's
altogether.
professional ethics. That's really what it boils down to. And look, if you're sitting there streaming to your, like me, my non-existent audience, because I'm getting back into streaming, but
good.
But if I'm sitting there getting shithoused on stream to my non-existent audience, it's a lot different than when you're streaming to hundreds or thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. You got to up that professionalism as you step your game up, and that's really the takeaway I have from that. But I was really impressed with all the debates that I was able to see. Modern day debates. I really don't like their platform, but I mean, props to them. They put up good material this time. I was really impressed with the turn of events with Mr. Wilson and Muslim Pikachu.
Did you like that?
Oh, dude, that was brutal. And
so I know what's coming. And James says, I don't know if it came across on the virtually, but he says like this next debate's gonna melt your face, and we were like, maybe a bad choice of words because the Muslims might not be happy with this. I'm like Courtney's there. I'm like, make sure you're close to the exit so we can fucking hop up out of here if shit gets real. But I mean, I thought Andrew crushed that, and I thought it was one thing that a lot of people don't realize is sort of the strategy. Like you have a general idea of your position. I think Christianity is better than Islam, but you could literally talk about this for hundreds upon hundreds of hours, different arguments. So there's strategy and like, what specifically do we want to focus on? And what does our opponent want to focus on? Right. And so, I thought it was a brilliant strategy. What do you do if you know that your opponent's going to argue from the right of you? And then after that debate, you have to argue from someone from the left of you. And Hikikachu correctly points out, Andrew's arguments today will be to the left of me, and so therefore his secular opponent tomorrow will say, but Andrew, last night you said X, and we're more X, therefore we're better. So Andrew came up with the idea of, then we won't argue from more of the left. We'll call you inbreeding degenerates. Which is more of a right-wing perspective. And I don't think Akichu was ready for that at all. He was kind of taken aback that was the perspective that Andrew went with. And it was brilliant on Andrew's point,
What's even more brilliant, and I don't know how much you know about Islam, but what's more brilliant about the argument strategy is the fact that if Is it Gikachu? Is that how you say it?
I think it's a Kikachu, and I'm not saying that to disrespect him
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like intentionally saying it wrong. I just
Like-
think that's how it's pronounced.
Like he's a legitimate debate opponent, but what Andrew did, he put him in an ideological trap. Okay, if Hakikachu, Muslim Pikachu, however you want to call him, if he speaks out against Islam, he is then considered to be an apostate, which will call a fatwa on him, and then they'll have to kill him. Okay, this is Islam. This is why I say Islam is not compatible with Western values. Because if you convert from Islam to any other religion, you're now an apostate and the sentence is death. If you speak out against Islam, the sentence is death. It is very, it's very.
Yeah, well, I see.
Andrew put him in a position that he could not defend.
Well, he
because
has.
even if he doesn't agree with it,
Here's
let's
what
say
I said
he
last
doesn't,
night.
he can't
Here's-
speak out against it.
It's both the biggest strength and the biggest weakness from arguing from the perspective of Islam. It's that there is no waffling. It's not like with Christianity where people could be like, well, I interpret it like this, and I have
Yeah.
another interpretation.
No.
You have a general, like for them, it's like, this is it. And sometimes it makes it simple to argue, right?
Mhm.
But it also means you're going to have to bite some tough bullets like cousin marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it's like, meh.
and boy love. And boy
Right, you
love.
know,
Because
that's-
women are for
so-
procreation and boys
so
are for
we-
pleasure.
And it's, I had a lot of people say, well, Hikichu said some terrible things about, age of consent and stuff in the past. Why didn't you bring that up? Because oftentimes what happens is as you broaden your attack, then you dilute your attack. If you hyper-focus your attack, here's the one argument tonight, and we're going to stay on that argument the entire night. It actually makes it more effective. I had this like a lot with COVID and, vaccine mandates. Rob, why didn't you talk about the VAERS database? Why even open it up to that? I have one specific claim. Look, the data is very specific. People that had a previous infection are more protected than people that got the vaccine. Why should they be forced to get the vaccine? Here's the negative outcomes that forcing them to have the vaccine gets to, right? But I don't need to go to VAERS. I don't know. Why don't just rely just on the CDC data? How about that? So they can't say, we don't trust this, blah, blah, blah. And I know it pisses a lot of people off because they're like, why didn't you say this, this, this? There's a reason, right? And like, you could see it like, I could get in debates that are 3 fucking hours on one little meta point, right? So as soon as you broaden it up to a broader discussion, and a lot of it's because so many of these people you debate, they're dragging their feet constantly. They're pretending, they're feigning ignorance. Well, what do you mean? Blah, 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 blah. And so it takes you 15 fucking minutes to get to a 3-second point, So that's why you have to hyper focus. But yeah, I thought he did a great job in all the debates, that one included.
Yeah. So I was really impressed with everything. I look forward to future events.
Are you going to go out to Word War?
I'm not going to have the capital in order to do the first one. It's already been leaked that Miss Candace Owens has declined.
She did. She did
and,
decline, and that was going to be a big event. Candace
Yeah.
Owens versus Steven
Mr.
Crowder.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll see that there are other people that one of those two will want to debate. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not really in charge of the booking. But I know the guy that is.
Yeah. I'm sure you
Mr.
do.
Rattlesnake. So
What, they're going to put an Aussie in charge of
yeah.
that?
Well,
Look,
it's
he
an
speaks-
international team, baby. We're
It
international.
doesn't matter. Well, he speaks in English like he's chewing bubble gum, though. I mean, have you ever heard him say R's and shit? It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
but did you see that fucking
I mean-
coat? He was. If everyone gets 75% of the dono goal, I'm sure you'll get to see Mr. Rattlesnake in Jess Gerald's video that he's produced. But you got to get it to 75% of the dono goal. You got to grift a little in the middle of these conversations.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, look. Rob quit his job for you. Okay, he is here to entertain and inform you. And if you're not giving him your money, you are failing him, and you're making proof that his decision to quit his job, which paid woefully under what he needed to get paid, quitting that job was a mistake. Let's get the money up there.
Oh
for him.
my goodness! Look at this guy, Mr. Fee. $5 says Jason has a new sub. Go Padres!
Let's go.
Started to like the Pirates more now. You'll get no more teasing from me anymore, Rob. How could you? Here's the thing: the Pirates are like lovable loser. Like, who the hell dislikes the Pirates? It's like, yeah, they're ass every year. They're not a threat to anyone, so it's okay to be like, sure, the Pirates are okay. You hate the Yankees. You hate the Dodgers. You don't hate
Yeah.
the Pirates. They're shit. You know?
Okay, so I used to love the Padres when they had a certain very underweight what was he, a left fielder And then he went to San Francisco and he bulked up on steroids, Mr. Bonds. I mean, I remember a 160-pound Barry Bonds. I thought he looked great in the pirate
He's still
uniform. He
good,
did
yeah.
well. But then he decided to start injecting things into his gluteus maximus, and he lost his.
We
neck,
don't know.
looking like a thumb.
No. Oh, you know, he was good while he was here.
We
too,
allege.
but-
Yeah, we
yes.
allege.
No, it's,
But
we don't need Barry Bonds. I have enough ops. I don't need fucking Barry Bonds like sending me a cease and desist.
yes, you do have
In
a lot
this
of ops.
house,
In fact,
Barry Bonds is a hero. Damn it!
and you're gaining ops too. I don't know if you know this, Rob, but you were mentioned in a video last night from a Mr. Adonis Paul. It's no big deal. He just basically he threw like some little cheap insults. He's trying to get under Andrew's skin right now, and it has to do with the panel verse and the side bullshit. And it's like I like watching the world burn, so I like watching drama. It's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
but yeah, I saw that and I went, why is he involving Rob? I mean, he didn't call you out by name, and I thought, okay, well, that's fine. But yes, things are getting interesting in the side stories on that.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Well, hey, I'm happy to contribute to the online economy so much that people I don't even know make videos.
Yeah.
Look,
You got to be someone's enemy, But I will tell you this. Remember that project I was talking to you about driving home on a trip?
Yeah.
So I'm going to move forward with that. For those,
that's excellent news. Yeah.
I'm going to be starting a panel show where we will have one-on-one debates called the Stillman Series debates, and basically I'm going to have judges from all different perspectives judging it. I will not be judging. I will just be moderating, and I will have people come up, and when you donate X amount of money, the contestants have to flip their script. They have to argue from the other side. So the actual most good faith of all the debates will be when you can understand your opponent's argument and even adeptly argue it. And you will be judged on every bit of it. The strength of your argument, and the strength of your ability to argue your opponent's argument. I think it'll be a fun experiment. I think many people in the debate space will fail, and we can mock them. And we can have fun with
Now,
it.
listen, I got to tell you, though, I was talking to Andrew about this. I have to be careful because I'm in the position where people will just straight up clip me and be disingenuous. So if I'm like, oh, here's why Democrats are better, people I could do it, right? But people will just be like, see, Rob did this. And then it goes viral. And then you're like, I never said
graphic.
that.
There will be a graphic for that to help take out the context. So, yes, it'll. No, I've already considered.
You figured
that
that. Good. I'm glad you thought of that because that is
Yeah.
something that people do.
Because look, one of the things most online creators are worried about is being taken out of context and being made to basically represent a viewpoint that they don't agree with. I think it's actually better that you understand a viewpoint you don't agree with. I was watching a panel earlier today. It was the WIC panel from yesterday, where they were talking about putting every Trump administration member on a Nuremberg style trial following the election if they win.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think we're going to talk about that on my show with Ryan Mullally. I keep saying Mullally. I think it's Mullally.
Well,
it's close enough. On Monday, but
believe
yeah,
it or not, the most sane person on that panel was Counterpoints, and I do not agree with him like 80% of things. We do agree on some things, but bravo. I even reached out to him on Twitter, not Twitter, but X, and said, on a ridiculous panel that will never happen, you were the voice of reason. I appreciate that. Give credit where it's due. It'll be fun to watch you review that. It really will. I think you would do that topic justice. I think you would, because I mean, I think we all can admit it doesn't matter what administration exists. There's always going to be some form of corruption, and we can argue, well, what level is corrupt enough to prosecute? What type of prosecution should be done? I mean, those discussions need to happen, and not all corruption, as we would see it, is intentional. Sometimes it's just a series of events that happened. So there has to be some discretion in moving forward in those things. But yeah, no, the Stillman series of debates is going to be built. I am working on the rubric right now. I need to talk to you out one time off public.
Yes, I will be happy to. Yes,
so
of course.
we can work out some things because Rob is going to help me because he is a debate master and I'm just a debater. No, but it'll be fun. I want to be that talentless hack that instead of debating my ideas, I test the strength of other people's ideas because I'm a talentless, worthless host. Please follow me, Vox Populi 1788 on YouTube. I will happily take your money. I will grift just as much as the rest of them. I will scream at imaginary women to come bring me drinks. And
there you
I
go.
will do all the things that you want to see while making fun of 304s.
Well, thank you so much. Always appreciate it, Jason. It's weird to call you that, but that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
real quick, I'll say this. The reason for that is that, like take our buddy Drone Tech. I know Drone Tech's real name, but he doesn't really want his real name out there. But once you know his real name, the problem is like that you end up like accidentally slipping up in the middle of a discussion and saying it. So I've known your real name for a long time, and I intentionally like never say that name because I don't want to say it if you're not saying it.
Well,
so
that's why I'm just saying it now because enough people know it, and I'm not putting my last name out there, but I'm easy to find if you really know where to look. But yeah, no, it's I'm tired of hiding behind the moniker. You do, and I appreciate that, Wicked Wally. But you know, you use your name. Andrew Wilson uses his real name. Because I work for the government. I am a Fed boy. I can't use my full name, but Jason is my legal name. It is what I actually go by. That's what my friends call me. My mother calls me that. So yeah, more transparency, and I think we're going to have fun. But Vox Populi 1788 because it is about the voice of the people. And Rob has inspired me to do call-in shows as well.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to have two major models. It's going to be the call-in shows where the people call in. Can't take the name now, Rob. Sorry, you already coined it. But
all I have to do is steal your jacket. That gives me rights to your name. I've learned that.
You know, that'd be fair. You know, you'd have to wear a Padres hat. That's pretty much been my thing for many years now. So yeah, you'll have to go that route. So you'd have to, you know, go against your beloved Pirates.
There we go.
But yes, thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a great night and God bless.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Later.
All right. Remember, we're trying to get to 75% of the dono goal. And then our friend, now it's Avarice in the background. Avarice will show up his super secret video he's editing from DebateCon. Next up, speaking of DebateCon, someone I met there, JS. What's happening, my friend?
What up, Rob? Look at this hoodie.
Oh, man. Even more sharp
matching.
dressed today than you were Saturday DebateCon. You were looking pretty fly, man. It was pretty cool. So what'd you think of the whole thing? I thought it was amazing.
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah.
Were you hungover?
Yeah. I was pretty hungover for like 2 days.
Yes. I'm an old man now. I can't do that anymore. Young me would have laughed at that. Would have been like, wake up and start drinking. Me, like, I wake up Monday morning. I'm like, I just want to lay in bed all day. This sucks so bad. But we got her done. So, what's on your mind today?
I was like, Rob probably doesn't even remember talking to me.
No, I remember.
Okay.
There was, I will admit to you, I will be vague about names, but there was a conversation I had, right? And then someone reached out to me and was like, hey, man, you said you were supposed to call me today? And I was like, huh? And they're like, yeah, you said you were going to give me a call today. And I was like, oh, fuck. I don't recall ever saying that. So then I'm like George Costanza-esque, like tiptoeing around, like, right, about that topic, right? You know, we were talking about... And then finally I was just like, I don't remember. I was drunk. What am I supposed to call you about? So yeah, it worked out, but I had to finally give in, was like, okay, I'm bullshitting you. I don't remember. But
yeah. I will say Admiral Gibbs drinking might have been partially my fault because because we did a prohibition debate and me and Wally had been planning for a while to take a shot at the beginning of a prohibition debate.
Nice.
And then Gibbs is like looking at it. He's just staring at the bottle. He's like, I want one. I was like, okay, here you go. But I didn't tell him to shotgun my beers though. That was his fault.
Yeah, he was, well, I told him like a long time ago, like 3 years ago or whatever, He's like, if we ever meet in person, we're gonna do some shots. So I was like, Saturday night's your chance, man. We're gonna be at the bar. So I did some shots, and he's trying to talk me into like going to his place, and he does like rattlesnake races where you put like boots on and then you hit a rattlesnake, like poke at it with a stick and it races. I was like, I don't know. He's telling me and my wife, he's like, you guys would love it. My wife can't stand garter snakes, let alone a fucking rattlesnake. I was like, I'm not so sure.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah, I talk big. I was like, oh yeah. But trust me, I'll find an excuse not to do that. You know, I'll be like, oh, shit came up. You know, what can I say? But no, it was fun. It was a good time.
But I wanted to ask you, I popped in earlier, you were talking about the Epstein stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be debating with a lefty about, I guess the topic is, he's saying people are downplaying the Epstein files and the allegations against Trump in them. And my argument is, I guess I'm the one who's downplaying it, because I've been saying since the beginning, nothing's going to come from this. You know, if Trump's name is in it, you know, I think maybe he did something like financial with Epstein at some point, and maybe he's worried about that coming out. But all these I go to protests and stuff, and they're just blatantly calling Trump a PDF file.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, what does downplaying the allegations mean? Like, the allegation that Trump did something heinous with a child is a serious allegation, and I think me and you would both agree. And 99% of Trump supporters, then fuck him, throw him in prison if there's proof of that. No problems there. So the allegation we're not downplaying. What we're downplaying is the evidence that we see. Right. The evidence we see, there's not there. There's no there. Like, and so far, like, you know, what we see is there's more direct connection so far with Democrats that were after this, were colluding with him financially or through asking questions in the case of Plaskett or whatever. When it comes to Trump, I haven't gone through all of the files, but so far, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I'm hearing. There is one that Epstein puts this email out that's like, Trump's the dog that's not barking. He was in this room with the victim. They redacted the name of the victim. It was Virginia Giuffre. Turns out she said Trump did nothing wrong with me. When you know who the victim is that Epstein's talking about there, it seems the implication of what the best circumstantial evidence we have is what Epstein's saying there is like, I wonder if Trump's ratting me out. He talked to one of these women that has a problem with me. He was with her a lot, right? The Democrats wanted to read that, oh, he was hooking up with her. But I think what Epstein's saying, like, fuck, what if Trump's talking to this lady and he's helping her build a case against me? That's what it sounds like, particularly considering we have Virginia's own words that are like, Trump didn't do shit. He tried to help me. So that's evidence one. Evidence two is what? Epstein's basically saying, like, Trump's an evil man. I don't trust him. Cool. A convicted sex offender doesn't like someone and thinks they're immoral. Okay? Like, I mean, what the fuck's that evidence of? And even if he's right that Trump's a shitty person, okay, what's that have to do with the allegations of children in this island and Trump? And then the third thing is, I don't even know where this comes from, but I've heard people claiming that, is it somewhere within the files that Trump performed oral sex on Bill Clinton?
Yeah, it's either Bill Clinton, somebody named Bubba, or I've heard a horse.
So
I don't know where this is. I don't
either. I've just heard
where
this
that's
claim.
coming from yet.
So let's assume there is an email from someone. Tell me in the audience, is that where this comes from? That one of the Epstein emails suggests that Trump performed oral sex on someone or something named Bubba. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I don't know that we just take Epstein in an email at his word with no proof that he performed oral sex on someone. It's clearly rank speculation at this point. You know, if I send you an email, JS, that's like, you know, my friend Avarice punches babies in the face, you know, and then I get arrested for some heinous crime in the future, and that email comes out and it's like, there it is, smoking gun, Avarice punches babies in the face. It's like, no, not necessarily. Like, okay, I said that, but so that's it. Where's the proof that Trump did? And they're going to go back to the same old bullshit. Wow, you know, well, this one woman that accused Trump, but this isn't new to the Epstein files. There was this woman that accused Trump and then later redacted and provided no proof. Women have came out of the woodwork accusing Trump of shit forever. Yeah, I know he was convicted of sexual impropriety with Jean Carroll, which is a fucking joke of a trial. And what happens is the Democrats have learned long ago that you could weaponize sexual allegations against your opponents, and they've been doing it for Trump for years. So, yeah, sorry, I don't believe it. I don't see any proof there at all, right? So Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what. Again, the key is to distinct. I'm not downplaying the allegation. I'm downplaying the evidence of the allegation. The allegation itself of having, you know, improper sexual, you know, activities with children. That's fucking. No one would downplay that. You know,
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I'm the negative. I'm saying that the Democrats and the left are upplaying the allegations.
Yeah, of course. They're selective, and important things to recognize are this. They didn't have shit to say for 8 years under Barack Obama. They didn't have shit to say for 4 years under Joe Biden. Did not care. Now they're like, release the files. They're selectively releasing them. If there was more smoking gun evidence that the Democrats had, why not release it? Right? Why are they instead redacting names and putting out little snippets that when you look at the broad context, once you see the name, it's like, oh, well, that's actually nothing. Why are they intentionally redacting names like that? You know, and then furthermore, how about the Democrats that are implicated? Why isn't that like all of a sudden they're like, no, this is all heinous hearsay and bullshit. But it's different if it's Trump. When it's Hakeem Jeffries, his team saying, come to dinner with me and Barack Obama, send us thousands of dollars. It's, well, no big deal. Of course, they're dealing with a convicted sex offender. No big deal. But my goodness, Trump hanging out with Epstein and a few photos before Epstein was convicted, and it's the end of the world. So, yeah, it's a total joke.
The other email that you didn't mention is from Michael Wolff. And
yeah.
It's basically discussing how to blackmail Trump.
Correct.
He's like, if he comes out and says this, we can blackmail him this way. If he doesn't say anything, we can blackmail him this way. And it's like,
yeah, it's absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. But that's it. Where are you going to be debating?
February 3rd on Speakeasy's channel.
Oh shit, that far out? February?
Oh, February. What am I? December 3rd.
Okay. I was going to say, because by February, the whole landscape could change. Who the hell knows?
No, December 3rd. I don't know why it's February.
Yeah, I'll check it out, though. I think that'll be a good debate. So, and by the way, keep up on it because they're going to selectively drip shit the entire time until then. So you got about 2 weeks. So,
and this is set up before Trump signed today to release. So they've been crying, release the files, release. What are they going to do now when he releases it? But they're not going to release anything about ongoing criminal investigations. So because I've been saying from the beginning, I don't know if we should release it to the public because then you get, court of public opinion or whatever. And isn't it better for them behind the scenes to be going after these guys, the bad guys, the guys who were specifically looking for young girls to do stuff with? Like those guys should be hung. But
they don't have the evidence.
Yeah,
all right, Jay, all right. No, it's a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure to meet you in person. Hopefully we do it again soon. And call in again. I'd be happy to talk. If more shit breaks, especially, I'd be happy to talk strategy about that. So
cool.
Take it easy, man. All right. So remember, we're trying to get to 75% of our goal. And our good friend who's now going by the name of Avarice, he took off his Jess Gerald coat. He's going to come on and he's going to talk or show us his video from DebateCon that's super secret that no one's allowed to see. Now I got people calling in now. This always happens at the last minute. A bunch of people calling. So we got to go rapid fire. First, Premonition. Absolutely amazing to hear from you. How you doing today?
Hi, dear. I am gonna rapid fire. So all right. I really like Speakeasy. I've started watching him. Nice kid.
Good guy. Yep.
Yeah, and I think he has a wife or a young lady that always says hello to me. Very sweet couple. I want to tell you, because I have no way of reaching Rachel. I have a little tiny website that nobody goes to or ever will. I'm not even going to say the name because that would be inappropriate.
You can say it. I don't mind.
Nah, it's okay. I have advertised her book on my little website that nobody will ever go to. So I do want her to know that and advertise it as her book on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it should be okay.
I will let her. Yeah. If I obviously I don't talk to Rachel a lot, but yes, I think that's awesome.
I put the Amazon Connect thing, so you click on it.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Again, nobody goes to the site. The other thing I wanted to say very quickly, because we're not going to speak of those people again. I don't even think about them, but I was thinking yesterday I was watching the whole thing from yesterday and what would have happened? I am so sorry that you went through what you went through, but had you not gone through that, can you imagine the chaos that would have been involved and running amok in and what you guys are about to do, which is take a Crucible global.
Yeah, I mean, that's
have
why.
been a firestorm if all of those different personalities would have been in there just running amok. So I'm sorry you went through what you went through, but it was for the best. It saved the brand, I think.
Yeah, I
So-
agree. Now, honestly, I want to be clear. Like, I don't really. What happened to me is not a big deal. It's someone says like, "Hey, you're fat," and I'm like, "You're ugly." That's it. They trolled me. I did a video telling them like, "Kick rocks." And that's it, right? They want to keep up the drama and stuff. Sometimes I deal with it. Most of the time I don't. That's fine. But you're absolutely right. Part of the decision that Andrew's making is like, do we want a brand where where players in this have connections to these sorts of people when we're trying to have serious discussions, try to build a brand seriously and create something that not only will become like the gold standard for debate, but also help us with what we want to achieve politically and culturally. That's sort of the point. And we don't want amateur hour with people that are like, we call in and troll people, and the whole point's to do the trolling and stuff. We don't want to deal with it. So
No, there were. I'm counting now at least 8 bad actors in there that would have been involved. It would have collapsed it eventually, or at the very least, it would have made it a terrible situation.
Yep.
Then okay, Epstein, old news for me. I don't even care. I think everybody's on the list at this point. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
Also, and one other thing I want to say really quickly. I Candace Owens. I've been following. I've liked her for a long time. I like her. She's honest. And I think the reason that girl is in danger.
Who's this?
Candace Owens.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You guys just said that she declined at this time a debate. And I think it's because she's got 4 little kids and she is bringing receipts. I don't know if you've been following her work, but she's bringing receipts. And I mean like legit. And I don't blame her for not poking her head out because
I'll say this. I'll say this. I totally get what you're saying. We are taking security very seriously. We were already before Charlie Kirk, but and even at DebateCon, you can see they took the security serious. This is going to be a level above that. One thing that's
giant with Rachel. The
giant is on the call behind us. Actually, he'll be calling here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, so it's a very serious thing, and we understand. You know, the hatred that led to the murder of Charlie Kirk, certainly that hatred exists. And people like Andrew, people like Sam Tripoli, that's working with this. So yeah, we're definitely taking it serious. But your point's well taken. That there are people that feel that they're being threatened.
I know the protection you guys are going to provide, and I cannot wait to see you yourself someday sitting as a moderator for a world leader. Because Andrew might very well be debating a world leader and you'll be the one moderating, and I just see really good things coming for you. So my love to you and your whole family. And by the way, my son's name is also Jason. So
excellent. I keep checking your DMs. I just saw your message to me on X, so I'll get back to you later today. But thank you so much, Premonition. It's always a pleasure.
Talk to you later, dear.
We'll talk to you later. Bye. All right. I'm going to bring on Grid next, and then we got the great Manted and Avarice we'll finish the show up with. But by the way, I remind you, we're stuck at 41%. If we get to 75%, Avarice will get in trouble by Mr. E by releasing footage of a project he's working on from video at DebateCon, which you'll get an exclusive sneak peek at. And then people like Mr. E will be super pissed off that you got a sneak peek at. But that's all right. Avarice will get yelled at. It won't be me. Me and Manted will just laugh at Avarice. Grid, what's happening, my friend? How you doing this fine day?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. Like I said, I slept a little weird, but no, I'm in an overly good mood today, and I don't know why.
You should be.
It's good. It's good.
You should be in an overly good mood. I watched yesterday. I was busy doing stuff, so I didn't try to jump on or anything. But I watched a lot of what went down over on VIX yesterday, and then I thought it was very interesting.
Did you watch the stream in the evening where I actually showed the receipts of Sarah, despite the fact that she was just there and didn't do anything? When first off, Dusty specifically says, by the way, you could go watch my show last night. Anyone wants to see it, it's there. Dusty, who said for ever since this happened. No, people weren't trolling you. We didn't send people to troll. And if they did troll you, they just then came back. We realized it and they came back. No. Dusty is in my chat, takes the link, puts it on his panel, and says, who wants to go troll him? Then Sarah says, oh, we should go one by one, sort of how to maximize it. Then Dusty says, make sure you put in your name, #only the left. And Sarah's giggling and goes, yes, and capitalize only, right? Then she tells Dusty, oh, hurry up, get over there so we can watch it, right? Then we go over, right? Or they go over, and then she keeps going, AJ, get over there, go over there and troll him, right? But she didn't have anything to do with it. So obviously, I impromptu called into Cool Vic stream, and I didn't have those receipts. And I'll be honest, I never watched the whole fucking Cope stream of them after Trippy's panel. I didn't watch it. She kept going, if you watch the full thing. Well, I fucking watched it on 2.5 times speed yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
I did.
I was busy.
Oh, no, I didn't watch it on stream. I watched it
okay.
as I was sitting at home on 2.5 speed, and I was like, uh-huh. And I put down timestamps. I was like, all right, motherfucker. Well, I'll bring those receipts tonight. So, yeah, that's what happened. But
yeah, that's really an interesting thing. I had
I don't think that's going to work, are we not, man? But he says if you send Rob $300, he might fire me. We'll flip a coin for it. But no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I actually really don't care.
Yeah, me neither.
It's
I look at it like this. Like, let's say someone you don't know, you're walking down the street, like, and they're like, hey, fuck you. Sometimes you might be like, what? Fuck you. What are you talking about? And other times you might be like, who the hell is that person? I don't care. And you that's literally my opinion on it. They keep saying like, well, you responded to it. So it's clear that you're like a bitch. It's clear that you're fragile. It's like, let's say that's true. Let's say that that's true. They trolled me and then I responded and that's me being fragile. Then what are they that do videos about this on almost a daily basis? When it amuses me, I respond. When I want to ignore it, I ignore it. That's it. That's all it is. I have better things to talk about. So I really don't give a shit. And I don't want to get it twisted. I've said this from the get-go. This is just online petty drama. It's not like my family's been attacked or anything like that.
Right.
So I just don't give a fuck in the grand scheme of things. There's far more, like just as an example, this lunatic Gary the Numbers guy shows up and is basically threatening to kick Andrew's ass. Like that's a little more serious than just goofs online. Like, we're going to put a video out of Rob breathing heavy into the mic. I don't care. That's fine. I don't really give a shit.
It is interesting. There's a, I kind of circulate in amongst everyone right now. Nobody's really pissed at me at the moment. That'll change. Don't worry. But
the caterer's got a channel from your event's gonna be like, that fucking grid.
Oh man, so the guys were so pissed about the moderation, and I'm like, fuck you. The debaters are what matter.
I'd fun.
Like if the debate, and I literally told somebody in my, and it was ranting in the comments like a little girl. I was like, you know what? If Rob had gotten pissed off and walked off stage, there's no fucking debate. If Tom Foolery felt attacked and walked off the stage, there's no fucking debate for you to watch. Shut the fuck up. The moderator did a great fucking job.
Now, listen, like I said, back home, it might be different. And yeah, he was slurring a little, and there was but
he'd been in the chair 8 hours. I mean, let's be fair.
True. That's fair. And here's the thing, right? Regardless of what anyone wants to say about it, was the audience there having a good time? Yeah. Did me and Tom, were we fine with it? Yeah. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it. Like everybody had fun, and Gibbs was a trooper, man.
I will tell anybody, if you think you can do a better job than me and my guys did, bring your $12,000, rent a fucking studio, buy everybody lunch, convince everybody to show up, get a lefty to show up.
You did.
Get a lefty to show up, and maybe I'll listen to a single fucking word you have to say, because none of you guys.
The event was great. Like the little nitpicks that people have about stylistically, or if Gibbs drank too much, I wouldn't pay it any heed. Yeah. That's on Gibbs. He can decide what he's doing with his alcohol in the future. I don't give a shit. I was fine with it. Yeah. That's and I think
I loved it, man. I mean, obviously I was busy. I didn't get to enjoy the event like you did, and the others did.
Yeah, I get it. Interrupting. By the way, what's up, Heathen? Yeah, I get it. Like to read super chats is annoying, but also understand this, like. The super chats were very important, seeing as how Grid put on an event that literally cost everyone that was there $0. So the support that's coming in for the community, we wanted to make sure that those super chats were getting read. But I get it. And look, there's the other way to look at
every 30 minutes, but 30 minutes for you and Tom is like that. You guys are just
right. We could have went 6 hours, no problem.
for real. Yeah, you absolutely could have.
So, but no, I thought it was a great event. The only regret I have is that I wasn't there longer. But there was
you had things to do.
Yeah,
I actually heard a criticism, and I want to dispel publicly any criticism of Rob Noerr. Rob texted me and said, "Hey, I want to be there." I'm paraphrasing. I want to be there. I'm hoping to leave in a little bit, but we're doing debate prep. I'll let you know, maybe after lunch. Didn't hear another word, but I didn't text him. I understood they're doing debate prep. They got a lot going on. There's 6 debates that he had to prep for, 3 different debaters. Rob's working his ass off over there, making his money, doing his job. It was fine.
Well, I'm glad, because I did not want, and as far as I do, look, I know that Dusty said yesterday that he heard from someone that I wasn't mingling a lot at DebateCon. I just think that's factually untrue, particularly Saturday and Sunday. I was there the entire time, both days, with the exception of lunch on Saturday, which my wife went out with the EOD and Amicad and a bunch of guys. They all went out as a big group to dinner. I was doing some last minute preparation but that was it though. Other than that, I was there the entire time. So I don't know where, but I would have loved to have been at Grid's event all day as well. But I will say this, it was unique to come in late at night. It was an atmosphere, man. You could tell people were having a blast. So to walk in late at night and finally get to meet in person for the first time a bunch of people, like I always remember that, Grid. I thought you put on a fantastic event, and that's where I met probably 80% of the people that were at DebateCon that I wanted to meet were at your event. So,
it was a really good event. It worked out. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that Avarice was going to nuke the DebateCon Discord that he had set up as a private Discord for us. And I didn't download. I've been very busy, and I just didn't download all the pictures and stuff so that I could start putting them out there.
I'm sure I will bring.
He says he's got me. He says he's got me, but I was like, oh man, this sucks. I'm
sure. By the way, if people send in enough donos to get us to 75%, we'll get a sneak peek. Some of those pictures.
You should definitely send in those donos because it's important. But yeah, I mean, there were things that I did wrong. Like it didn't occur to me to have. I needed somebody upstairs to kind of manage everything.
It's one of those.
I had to be downstairs so much, and so I ran up and down those stairs probably 100 times. Certainly.
How about the dudes that just volunteered to help you out with the tech? How cool were those guys?
Oh, dude, that one kid, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember his name now, but he's like, hey, I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, well, I do computer stuff. I scan buildings. I travel all over the world and scan buildings for 3D modeling. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, I know a little bit about computers. And he had apparently managed the soundboard for his church at one point. And I'm like, awesome. Put the computer together. so I could go do something else. And I came back and he had the computer together and we sat down and we ran through the setup and how everything should run. We did a quick sound check. We let JS Urban Adventures and Wicked Wally do a 1.5 hour debate. Was it Nuki? Yeah. Yeah, Nukes did help.
Yeah.
Nuki, yeah. But I can't remember the guy who's running the show. I can't remember his name, but he was so helpful, and he did, and he knew when it was something that he didn't know what to do, he would jump out of the way, and I could get in the chair, make it happen, and it was just it worked so well. And then the TD, I'm not gonna say his real name, but TD, he came in and he's like, hey man, you need help, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, he just casually mentioned that he did low voltage wiring. I'm like, brother, can you help me out and run these mic cords and tape them down to the floor, make sure everything is that we're not going to have any problems. And he absolutely killed it. Like, I honestly thought I was going to have to do it.
Yeah, no, he did great.
And he did a great job. And then, not only that, he ran the Ethernet cable for me down to the router. He did, and then he was actually the guy I had I had 2 people on iPads or tablets watching the event. so to let me know what it looked like on YouTube. So I could just walk by and hey, does this sound good? Is everything going on? Is everything working? And they say, no, man, this guy's low or whatever. So it was really good.
Yeah, they did great. Well, hey,
Yeah.
Grid, I got a hard 2:30 out, so I gotta get to these last
Yeah,
two
man, no
guys.
problem.
But yeah, it was a tremendous event, and I was honored to actually have the opportunity to debate there. I can't tell you how many times people came up to me at Modern Day Debates event and was like, "Why aren't you debating?" And I was like, "Should have went to Grid's event. I debated there." So it was
Yeah.
not it
Well,
was. I
my
know
wife
you
thinks-
told James that he should have me debate there. I know that.
I've done that multiple times. I've done a lot, and so I've done all I can do. I think with Modern Day, I've got to talk with Modern Day Debate again, and we're going to see if we can do something. My wife was so impressed by everybody coming up and shaking my hand and telling me what a great event it was and how much they enjoyed it, how it was the high spot of the weekend for them, that she's pushing me to do another event, and we're thinking about doing it in April. It'll be in the same venue. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to basically repeat the same deal, except maybe we'll do it on Saturday so people can drive down Friday night, not impact their whole weekend. But we're looking at that. I'd rather do something in conjunction with Modern Day Debate or some other, something like that. I'd rather do a kind of a partnership. But if and Modern Day Debate did a great event as well. They're just different. They're not, one's not better
I
than
agree.
the other. It's just different, right?
Yep.
So I'll jump off, man. You guys, you have a great rest of your day.
All right.
I really
Thanks
appreciate
so much.
you coming out.
We appreciated the event. Thank you, man. We'll talk soon, man.
Absolutely.
Take it easy. All right. Super chats real quick. Remember, trying to get the super chats 75%. Mr. B, $10 says, I never disliked the Pirates. Just teasing you whenever I saw you through Pirates Guy. Paul Skeen is a monster, though. Yeah, he's going to be a great Dodger someday. Premonition, $2 is really struggling. Wish I could do more. Please. Thank you so much. Tony Donahue, thanks so much. $5 says, bravo, Rob. What a destruction of the panelverse yesterday. Yeah. If only they could have brought up 15 more people and I could have wrecked them all too. Lower class, $5 says, glad to hear the event went well. God bless everyone. Thank you. All right. Mantid and Avarice. Bring them up together as a team. How's it going, Mantid? You made everything, you made it back all right? No problems?
No, I'm a bot, bro. I'm
That's
just sitting here. This is a virtual representation. I'm still stuck in the Nashville airport. So yeah,
Oh,
no,
come on, that's a lie.
everything's great.
Mantid actually is a literal bot, like in real life. He's like the T-1000. So yeah, let that be known. If anyone wants to try any shenanigans, just saying,
we were so running all over the place. I had a gift. I went and got you a minifig of Gordon Freeman, and sat in my bag. It sat in my bag the whole trip. So now I have to ship it. I was kind of sad.
It's okay. We still had a lot of fun. It was a great event, man.
Our man Nate, $50 says, I bet these lazy jerks haven't even hit the like yet. Get these donuts in. Sorry, he meant donos. I'll take donuts as well. He says, just rolling through Strausstown now. Always great to hear from you. Thank you so much, man. We're close now. You have to have it queued up. We're at 59%. Surely someone will donate to get us to 75.
I did get Mantid to give me a bear hug and get me orbit into the orbit. It was fantastic. The oxygen is a little bit lighter up there, boys and girls. Just so
Can you
guys
imagine
know.
how good of like a debater I would be if I had full oxygen all the time? Like if I wasn't operating at just 50%? Oh,
dude, if we're ever like prepping Mantid for a debate, like Avarice, our job will be to put like some sort of smoke or something that only goes up to like 5 feet, so that his opponent's like coughing the whole time. Yeah, Mantid's just towering above it, like I don't see what the issue is.
Before we move on, though, I do want to speak on what was on the last topic there for Grid. Yeah, you have no idea how hard it is to do what Grid had to do.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like he had no idea what to expect when I showed up. And it was a whole new ball game. So between not only managing that, but also containing what was the atomic bomb that hit the downstairs, I had to be sequestered downstairs to very limited access to the debate floor. But you have no idea what he had to go through. Everybody hats off to him. He paid for the whole event. All out of the pocket. That's what these donos are for. That's what donating to this stream is. That's what donating to Grid stream is. This is what it's about. Our money goes back to you guys, in one way or another. So, thank you, Grid.
Yes, you did great. I agree with that. And like, here's the thing: you think about it, like he has to make sure the debates are running smooth, make sure that the audience that's watching the debates can be able to hear it all, and also have interaction. Make sure that the equipment's working so the people back home are able to watch that are watching there. Then he's got to like all the catering and shit. He has to deal with that. Plus, then the people that are downstairs, which most of the time that's what's going on, actually has to, make sure they're having a good time. Real quick, do you guys mind if I bring up our good friend Sniper?
Oh, of course.
He was at DebateCon. Sniper, how you doing, man?
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Living the dream.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Hey, Sniper.
Prayers going out to you and your family. But man, it was a pleasure to see you there. And all of us were better for you coming, and we really appreciate it, man. It was amazing to hang out with you.
Same. Like meeting all of you, especially I don't want to single anyone out, but yeah, you're all great. I mean, Rob, meeting you is like fantastic.
Sniper's got the marker that everybody else has been trying to get for like the last 2 weeks, and Rob was there for it. There is a everybody's like attacking Andrew and Rachel and Rob and all that, trying to make them uncomfortable and get them off kilter. Sniper gave Andrew a couple of challenge coins, and I've never seen that man so shaken.
I thought he was going to punch me or something. I thought he was serious. I had a little bit to drink, and I haven't drinking years. And I went to put it in his hand, and he was like, "Ah!" And I'm like, what? I didn't realize he was trolling me. But yeah, Manted. I have my body's all jacked up as you saw, but when I went to shake your hand, I should have told you my hand, like I felt like it was just gonna like fall off. It was like all broken.
I felt so bad, bro. I'm so sorry about that.
No,
When somebody reaches, I'm like, oh, they can do a handshake. I could see. I should have been more.
No, man, you were
more
squared
gentle.
away. You were very alert, and you were doing your job like perfect.
No,
So
I think you should have gone further. You should have taken them all the way down. All right, cavity search. All right, you know what's in that cane. All right, it could have been a blade for all I know. What were you doing, man? Johnny? What was in the cane? What was
Zach,
in the cane, Johnny?
Our good friend Zach Gelpy says prayers to you, Sniper, and your family. $10. Thank you so much, man.
Zach Gelpy, everybody. That's Zach Gelpy.
I appreciate
and then he also says for $20, let's see if
Zach
Patrick can get
Gelpy.
some oxygen mask so he can breathe up there. It was great meeting you, man. Yeah.
Zach Gelpy, everybody. Zach fucking Gelpy.
By the way, we're only 8% away from 75%.
8% away. Oh, 8%. And then Manted is going to go tell on me to Mr. E. Like, you're never going to guess what he did on robnoerr show.
Listen,
away the Secret Squirrel Project.
Mr. E's got.
Look, I'm not saying anything, brother.
He's got
going on right now.
Mr. E's got like fucking 40 computer screens set up with any like sort of show that's ever talked about the Crucible. So it's like, yeah, it'll blink. Oh, Avarice is doing something. Where's he at? Over at Rob's channel. Oh shit!
I actually felt bad because I disrespected Manted during the dinner with Rachel there, because I saw his bag and I'm like, I was so out of it that day, and I'm like, man, I'm like, oh, you got Zelda out there. He's like, that's not Zelda. He's like, this is Warhammer. And I'm like, how do I not know this? How do
there
I?
It
yeah,
is.
there it is,
yes,
right there.
Yes. This is great. Amazing. Now, if you guys want to get the 75%, and you have to do it soon because I'm sure the video is probably at least 5 minutes, and I got a hard out at 2:30. Here's something that all three of you might find interesting, though. Andrew just posted this on X. This is real, apparently. You ready?
Ready.
The myth of consensual cousin marriage puts Daniel and Pikachu. I consent. Andrew says that was actually put up to defend cousin marriage and say that it's Andrew that's the big meanie.
That's so crazy. Speaking of X, though, Andrew's got a space that he's doing with Beaten Cheeks here in a few hours, where he's just like all haters welcome. So normally, normally Rob is the center of the drama right now. Like traditionally, the last like 3 or 4 weeks, it's all been robnoerr. But Andrew's taking the crown again and said, "Hey, all haters, come on over."
I got it.
7 Eastern right now.
I've already got my book, Manted. I've already got my book. Okay, hold on. This Andrew identified himself as a man who made himself named Rico, who then enslaved me to be his friend and did not give me an apology.
That's
see. I already have my
rebuttal.
complaint as well. I'll probably go up on the space. Andrew is so full of shit, and Rob can even attest to this. Andrew hired me to do some security stuff for him and his family while we were at the BaitCon, and this man pulled me aside day one and gave me per diem money to make sure I was able to eat and stuff, which was never part of the plan. That's such bullshit. How could
dare
he
put
ever
$300 in your pocket? How dare he?
Exactly. That's ridiculous.
Nate gives $20, says, okay, fine, but these jerks have not hit the lights yet. Glad to come next year. I'll go in November. Thank you. And then we get to the 75% with Charlie Leonard. $10 says, fun fact, Manton's actually just 3 kids stacked on each other's shoulders. Now you gotta come through now, Avarice.
I do.
Now listen, you know what would make Avarice happy if you guys get the last 25% in as he's looking this up. He would definitely. He's gonna get yelled at for this whole production, but yeah, I'm gonna join that space tonight to the best of my ability, and I'm gonna try to hop on and listen. I don't know that I'll come up and speak. I don't think Andrew needs my help, but I'll definitely be listening. And it is like it's the attacks on him. I said this yesterday. I just want to be clear. Here's the attacks on Andrew Wilson. As far as I see it, Andrew's like 2 things. Andrew's a manosphere red pillar like Andrew Tate or Coach Greg Adams, and so it's hypocritical of him to be married with someone that had kids to a previous relationship. A spoiler alert, he's not that, you fucking idiots. That's number 1. And number 2
don't lean in there, guys. I'm giving you a hint in advance.
Yes, that's a
Anybody
big
who's
mistake.
Sneaking in here, I would not lean into the whole he's manosphere and red pill and all that shit. That's
the other argument's like, oh, can you believe this dude's tone? Like someone talked shit in his wife and he pushed back. Okay, if that's going to be your argument, good luck.
Do we really want to champion Chuck? Like, is that really what we want to do? We want to put Chuck on a pedestal and say this person should be defended? Is that where we want to go?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but the olive jar attacks were more salient than this. Like, for real. It's like, this is what you've got. Man, I wish that my ops were so stupid that their big attack on me is you defend your wife too vigorously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, there's actual. I'm not gonna put him out there by any means. My price is significantly higher than the Rob Noerr show or even the Andrew show. There's actual attacks that could be made. None of these are them.
No,
that's the fucking crazy part. There's actual stuff out there that you could use that he would have to be on a back foot on potentially. Yep. But everybody's like, let's hit the surface stuff. Smoky Man bad. Smoky Man adhere to his values and Smoky Man talk.
He's too mean when defending his wife. How about this? The guy can't handle his liquor for shit. There's an attack. Get him on that one, right?
I watched him lose 2 different drinking competitions downing beers after talking all that mad shit.
That's right. Irish. There's an attack.
Yeah. I want to put another caveat here because I'm actually going to get in trouble from Manton because when Manton sees that I've done this, he's going to bitch that I haven't been doing this whole time, and I ask him to do most of this stuff.
I'm not going to complain. I don't complain at all. You know that.
We got to run it. I got to leave it like 4 minutes.
All right.
Now your job in the audience, if you like what you're seeing, is get the last dollars in for this 100% goal.
Here we go. Right, here we go. Peak. It's still a work in progress, but here we go.
Welcome, citizens of the Crucible, to the Grand Invasion.
He's got a Marlboro clenched in his teeth, ashes falling like snow on the street, a storm in his eyes, a war in his chest. He plays his cards and burns the rest. snuffs them out with a flick of his wrist, a puff of his plan. He laughs through the hay, smoky man bad.
Up to it!
Up to it!
Down to it!
Down to it!
Fuck those!
Fuck those
that don't do it!
that don't do it.
We do it!
We do it
Because we're true to it!
because we're true to it.
Crucible Crew!
Crucible Crew!
One step back!
Not one step back!
That's what you guys get.
Oh, it's very good.
That's it.
You're crushing it, man. That video is great. The pictures are just amazing. Gentlemen, unfortunately, I got to say, I got to get moving. I appreciate all three of you. I thought it was a blast, and I can't wait to hang out again with all of you. But I do have to go pick up my son. So let's grab off too. So I will probably, we're going to raid over to Jim Bob, but 7 o'clock Eastern, right? Check out the spaces. If you follow Andrew Wilson's X account, you'll see that there's a spaces that Andrew's going to be doing tonight. It's going to be great. So check that out. I will be listening. And yeah, I think here's the link. Beaten Cheeks is actually the one who's hosting it. There you have.
Yeah, pay attention to that. The time has changed a couple times, so they're kind of moving around to make sure, because they have some people that are reaching out saying, "Oh, I'm going to come, but it has to be at X time or whatever."
Sure.
So
I want to talk shit.
checking the
You
link.
accommodate me. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, look, if they're saying they've got proof, Andrew's been dying to see the proof of all of this stuff, so he's actually trying to be accommodating. So if there's anybody sneaking around in Rob's chat, paying attention. Let them know that you've got the receipts and that you're going to show up at X time or whatever, and they'll make space for you. Do your shit.
That's it. So, all right, guys, I will see you all here. Thank you to all my mods. Thanks to everyone that called in. Thank you for all the donations. I know someone's going to send the like $80 or whatever necessary to get to 100%. I know
Yeah,
it.
of course.
During
And
this
if all you guys
outro.
want to continue to see advertisements right here
That's-
on Normal America
That's right.
with the Rob Noerr Show.
Rated Jim Bob coming in. We'll see you all at 10 o'clock tonight. As always, have a good one. And God bless Charlie Kirk and his family. Please keep their memory in your heart. We'll talk to you all soon. Take it easy, everyone.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.